Yeah, we are. So listen, we're gonna give some folks time to get in here, just in case folks are gonna jump on. Right now, what that means is we are currently going live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Twitch. So watching your place of choice. And I'm gonna do it like I'm supposed to do it. What up, Marcus? I see you in there, boy. What's good with you, bro? What it do, snackers and snack ass? It's your boy Gage. Got jokes and sin in the house. Speak, fellas. Tell them what up. What up?
Yo.
What's happening, family? What's going on?
Tonight we are joined by an old friend, two old friends, but
Yeah.
old friend, Coop. Coop's Concessions.
Yeah.
Building.
What's up,
What's going
Coop?
on? I'm good. What's
Welcome
going
back,
on,
bro.
guys?
How you feel? Everything good?
Feel good.
Yeah?
Feel great. Everything's perfect. Everything feels perfect.
Hey, dog. Do you know what year it is? I don't.
Yeah. Somebody
I
feels
don't-
perfect.
I don't-
Hey, man.
But you know what?
I
No. Listen, I'm gonna take that positivity. I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna ball it up. And I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna put it in my pocket. I'm gonna carry it right with me in the next year. You hear me?
Everyone should have it. Everyone should have it. I'm saying, I know the year. I know how it's been, but you know it's it's been good.
Now, not
For me, it's
not
been
all
good.
things about it have been terrible. That's a real thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. And also joining us, we have our good friend Adam Butler, the Butler Did It Podcast.
Yes, sir.
AB,
Yes, sir. What up?
what's
What's
good,
going
bro?
on, man? Hey, man, I'm maintaining. I was just telling y'all that I'm looking forward to midnight of 2021 where everything reverses and goes back to normal, like the reverse
Like
Thanos
magic.
snap, right? Yeah, like magic.
Like
you know, for the
magic,
good.
bro. Like
Voila.
like magic. Like how
So
could it
we'll
be? How could it
feeling
be any
good.
different way?
Yeah. So I'll be feeling good at midnight.
So look, here's what I want to do real quick. I want to give you an opportunity to just kind of talk about the Butler Did It podcast. I want you to just kind of tell
Sure.
people what it is, how they find it, all that kind of jazz. We're gonna do this now.
Mhm.
Normally, this is the kind of thing I hold a little bit towards the end, and we'll get to it a little bit again at the end. But
It's all good.
this might take a while.
my
So,
man thought Butler was
Yeah.
DMX for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so Adam, let them know about the Butler Did It podcast, all that
Yeah.
jazz.
My bad. That was funny. The Butler Did It Podcast. It's a lifestyle podcast. We talk about mental health. We talk about Black culture. We talk about nerd culture. All sorts of things. Anything you want, you find on the Butler Did It Podcast. It's on YouTube. You can look up the Butler Did It Podcast Hub on YouTube, or you can just follow me, MSR_Adam, or you can look up the Butler Did It Pro on Instagram. You can find that. And I do want to shout out my documentary I just dropped called What Are Those? The Art of Sneaker Culture. It's about sneaker culture. It's a documentary short. It's part one of a documentary series. I love sneaker culture. I'm a big sneaker head. So we
Indeed.
just break down all things about the art of sneaker culture. You can find that on my YouTube page. Again, that's the Butler Did It Podcast Hub right here on YouTube and all streaming services. Check me out.
My man.
Cheers.
Listen, y'all all make sure y'all do that. Y'all know how it is, man. In this community, we just all about trying to uplift each other and push each other. So for those of y'all who know us and follow us, and trust our wisdom, at least until you find out what our top 10 movies are.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be
y'all trust us when we say you want to check Adam out, man. And Adam,
Appreciate that, man.
we talk about things like this kind of stuff. We talk about pop culture stuff. We've been on the show to do that kind of stuff, but Adam makes sure to talk about very important things like our mental health, things that are going on in our communities. That I just think it's a from a perspective that I think matters to us. So you definitely should check that out. Show us some love. Make sure you follow all that kind of stuff, and like, share, and subscribe. Please do that too.
Appreciate that.
Coop, man, what's going on in Coop's world, man? What's up with Coop's Concessions? Give me the skinny. What's really happening? What's the official? I need to know what's going on.
I'm really thinking that I'm just going to switch the whole podcast up and just kind of do more than just movies.
Okay.
I've been helping people with other podcasts and on a few I guess the set, you can say, of people doing their thing.
Sure.
But Yeah. I think I just want to switch it up and kind of have like a wider conversation than just movies, really.
I respect that.
So I'm thinking maybe bringing it into 2021.
Dope.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. We talked about it a little bit. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. You know what I mean? All right, so listen. We are here to do a thing. For those of you who are around to witness what happened, hey, listen, J. Robert Dees.
I know.
Look, man. Apocalypse War, I'm pretty positive it's not going to be anywhere on this list. Pretty sure.
Nah,
but I'm not making any promises, man, because I have no I have no responsibility.
Y'all know how I'm a wild card.
It could be a wild card out there.
Apocalypse War, though.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We are live right now to come up with our top 10 movies of the last decade. So 2011 through 2020. And it's a lot of ground to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
Hell
Facts.
yeah.
This was not an easy thing. Slade, what's up, man?
Struggle is real.
This was so difficult. To try to take all of the films that we've seen over the last 10 years and bring them down to 10 each. So let me run those of you who are watching through exactly how this is going to work and why it works this way. So each of us on the panel have our own top 10 films of the last 10 years. Okay? Our lists are our personal lists. They are our favorites. There are our things. We have our own reasons for them. It is what it is. So everybody is going to present their list. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time dwelling on each person's list, though we might poke a little bit of fun. Just
we know that's going to happen. We know that's going to happen.
It's a possibility.
Jay Roberts, you need to fix yourself. You need to watch Knives Out. You need to do that.
Oh, Knives Out.
You need to do that.
I forgot about Knives.
Yes, and Knives Out is it slowly did not make the list, but it's one of the honorable.
So check this out.
Forgot about Knives Out.
So here's how the rules are going to shake down. Everybody's going to present their list. I'm going to write everybody's list. Any movies that appear on multiple people's lists will get an additional point. The movies with the most points will make up what the 10 movies for the decade are. Tiebreakers. Any movies that have the same number of points. Oh, that's where the discussion comes in. Okay? So, this is going to take a little time. Okay?
What's up, Perp?
Before we get started, Perp, what up? Okay, two things. I know we're getting ready to have a good time because I really need to sneeze right now.
Normally it's sin. Normally it's sin.
Nah, I ain't about to sneeze.
That joint is real right now. Like, it's real right now. So here's the thing. Before we get started, does anybody want to make a last minute change to your list? Look at your list. Adam was like, I forgot about Knives Out. Look at
I did.
Is there anybody
who
wants to make a last minute change? Because once you make your list, once the list is out,
it's solid.
That's it.
It's out there.
It's on the internet, so it's final.
Oh,
forever.
It's just like I can't.
Forever. It's on the internet.
Because it's not gonna matter. Because as soon as we start getting underway, we know one of us is gonna say something, and then the others are just gonna be like, "Oh,
I know." It's
and you might be right. Man. You might be right, but that's kind of what. Listen, I'm just giving this a last moment opportunity.
Coop,
you know,
movie guy, you good?
I'm good, man. I did go through it before we started. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good where I'm at.
Okay, I like it.
I'm
saying because you instead of checking yourself, you checking on Coop. You good?
Look, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I worked hard on my list.
Did you?
No, I really did. Like, it's a big thing, and for my personal list, I'm actually very happy with the way it came out.
I dig it.
And I know.
All right, so here's the thing. Who wants to go first?
Oh, we rock paper.
Ooh. All right.
I vote Coop.
All right.
I go first. All right. So we just going straight
let me,
through, right?
Yeah. So listen.
Yeah,
You just gonna start at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Take it, but listen. I gotta write these down. So don't. Like you can't just.
Don't rattle too quick.
You know what I mean? Like I actually have to use paper for a minute.
Right.
So just take your time.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ready to go, let me know you're ready to go.
I'm ready.
All right, who's going first? Is Coop going first? Adam, you going first? Who's going first?
You go first, Coop, if you want to.
All right, Coop.
Yeah.
All right, Coop. Let's go. What's number 10?
The Raid.
Oh.
Hey, listen. Hold on. Sneaking in. Because The Raid sneaks in right at 2011.
Whoa.
Right in 2011. That joint was like, I was
2011.
this close to putting that joint on my list.
2011.
The Raid.
Whoa.
Right.
The Raid.
Right in 2011. Okay.
Yeah.
Bro,
What's next?
good job.
Yeah, salute.
Number 9, Kingsman.
Okay. Before we go any further,
I didn't forget about that, Adam.
do you have any more Kingsman joints on your list?
I was about to.
No.
And you're talking
man.
the first Kingsman. You're not talking about Golden Circle, right?
Yeah,
Of course.
the only
Hey,
Kingsman
listen.
that matters, right? Not the
Real
one with
talk.
the
Hey,
burger.
listen.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, nothing with the
Before you
burger
go any
shop.
further,
Okay.
jokes.
Yo,
Read J. Robert Dean's top 10
top 10.
in no order.
Oh,
but
no
read.
order. All right, we got Black Panther, Captain America: First Avenger, and Winter Soldier, Jojo Rabbit,
But it's either.
Loving Vincent Man. I believe it's. Oh no, Loving Vincent.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah. I just know. I had to.
Man from Uncle.
Hey, ain't no comma, so I'm sitting here like, man.
Loving Vincent, man.
Hey,
You know those internet moments
Right.
you can't take back?
I don't know that one.
Right there.
no, I already did one of those today. So yeah, hey, don't. Man from Uncle, Rush, Soul, Spider-Verse, and I take it that is the original Wonder Woman movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The original
Don't
one.
say 84. It better
Hey, it's
not
84. Y'all didn't like 84?
We don't blaspheme in this
don't
joint.
don't get started.
Do this.
Don't get us started,
Do
Adam.
this, we don't
please.
blaspheme in.
Oh, I was
All
gonna
right,
make
cool.
a joke and say 84 was like my number 10, but no, I ain't.
We don't
Gonna-
speak that.
I like
we
it.
don't
Listen,
speak that.
that's a solid list. That's
Yeah, that
a
is
solid
It
list.
is.
That's a good list.
You know what I'm
That's
gonna
good
say? Is the only thing I think is missing from that list is Moonlight. Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Moonlight, yeah. So Coop, what's your number 8?
All right, I'm gonna let you know now. This is where it kind of gets superhero heavy. Okay.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
It's
You
fun.
know what we do.
Letting you know.
It's all
All
right.
right.
It's all good.
Number 8, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What's next?
Number 7, Avengers.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Number 6,
Yeah.
Number 6, Deadpool.
Okay. What's next?
This movie was. Okay, before I get to number 5, right? Number 5, like it was the
You got your
biggest movie. in the
disclaimer
world.
already?
I know there's a disclaimer attached to it.
Asterisk.
Right.
Asterisk.
Before I tell you what this is, just
Right.
know.
Let me explain to you what I was thinking.
Right. I mean, no, it was the biggest movie in the world, but it was ruined for me, and like I can never get it back. I watch this movie almost like once a week, and I can never get it back because the ending was ruined for me, and it's Infinity War.
Okay.
The ending was ruined for you.
Okay.
The ending of Infinity War.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that
I
one
remember
later.
the spoilers.
Yeah.
Because
The spoilers was pretty heavy when it came
Oh,
out
it
in
was
theaters, and I was
ruined
minding my
for
business
you.
on YouTube.
oh, okay, got it.
Okay.
Understand
Like
now.
somebody spoiled it before
Got
you
it.
got
Yeah, I thought he didn't like the end of Infinity War. I was like, damn.
Got it. Like you
So
kinda
wait,
didn't
as
know
a
it was.
disclaimer, are you saying that because you feel like if that hadn't happened, it would be higher on your list? Is that what you're saying?
No, because number 4, I was tied between number 4 and number 5.
Okay, and this is
So-
why that happened. It could have been 4.
Yeah,
But because it got ruined for
it
you.
could have been
Okay.
4.
All right.
Yeah. And number 4 is Black Panther.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number
Hey,
3.
Before you go any further, before you do your top 3, jokes.
Yo.
Read J. Roberts' honorable mentions.
All right, we got you put Carl Evans in there like that. Zootopia, Thor, Last Jedi. I got an issue with that one.
Wait.
Hey, look, this is coming from J. Robert Dean.
What?
Don't be surprised.
J. Robert?
You know what? Please clarify. That just says Thor, but Last Jedi, Solo, Paddington, and Hitman's Bodyguard. Hitman's Bodyguard was actually good.
I'm not
I
mad.
watched that for the first time the other day.
No, that's a good movie. It's funny.
I'm not
Yeah,
mad.
Hitman Bodyguard was cool.
Zootopia is a good pick too.
Hey, Slade, based on your mention of his omissions, I'd like to see what your top 10 are. Feel free to drop in the comments.
Chime in.
Yeah.
If y'all made the list,
Coop.
go ahead. You gonna have some time. He
Top
said
3.
Thor 1, yes.
Oh.
I mean,
Hey, yo,
I guess he could have said
Is
Thor
this
2
the
though.
same
Then
dude who hated? You know what?
yeah.
Hey, Coop. your top
post
3.
it. Yeah, post it, Slade. Absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. You can post them in the comments.
have a
Whatever
ball,
you
yeah.
Yeah. Feel free. All right, Coop. Top 3. Number 3.
Top 3.
Did you hit 4?
Number 3, Get Out.
Yeah, 4 was
yeah,
Black
4.
Panther.
Okay.
Number
4
3
was
was
the
Get Out.
4 was Black Panther. 3's Get Out.
Okay. Number 2.
Logan.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Dig it.
Number 1.
All right.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, my man. I can give you that.
Good job.
Hey, no, listen. Hey, Coop,
You know how crazy how that is. All my Batman, stuff that I talk.
Well, you didn't have nothing Batman to go off of.
Hey, listen,
so.
bro. If you missed the Batman stuff I talk, because if you watch the show when Batman comes up around here, you would know. Yeah, Zayna, let him know, as he should. It's real in that. So hold on. So Thor just edges Ragnarok way better than Dark World. Way better than Dark World. I don't necessarily have issues with.
Yeah.
Though Dark World.
Nah.
But it edges Ragnarok. I feel like you don't like funny.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Do you like
All
fun?
right, so look. So Adam, before we get into yours,
Sure.
Slade, let's get your read Slade's.
All right. Let's see. Slade has Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, please.
That's why I had you read it. Because I like the
I
way
knew
you
he
did it.
wanted it.
No, just because that, let's run it back from the beginning here. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. So Mr. Mike Slade has Frozen. Bitch, please. Can't argue it. Thor Ragnarok. Get Out. Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Infinity War. Black Panther.
That's top 6. Said he was having trouble rounding out the rest. I'm not mad at that. These lists were not easy to do.
No.
I'm not mad at it at all. I also agree that's a solid list. It's a very solid list. Okay, so Adam, you up next?
Yeah.
All right. Hit me
All
up
right.
with number 10.
So my number 10 is Endgame.
All right. Let me add that
All right.
because that didn't even make Coop's list.
Yeah, it didn't.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's true.
Number
That's
9.
true.
Number 9 is Logan.
Okay, so Logan gets an additional point.
All right.
What's the 8?
So this one is where it gets a little goofy.
Disclaimer.
Not goofy. Actually, I don't think it's goofy at all, but it's a lot of
Everybody throw
superhero.
disclaimers for their picks.
Boyhood.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
Boyhood. I know we're not supposed to get all into it, but Boyhood was groundbreaking. All right. Number 7 is actually a documentary. It's 13th. Ava DuVernay.
Okay.
Got you.
All right.
Not mad at that either.
All right. Number 6, Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I gotta add a point to that. Okay.
Number 5, Mad Max Fury Road.
Hey, listen.
Dog.
Ooh.
There's a reason why like all of us are like so good for like our lists are gonna still be similar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
That was your
Mad
5.
Max.
What's
Number 5.
What's number 4?
Number 4 is Infinity War.
All right. So let's add a point.
Number 3 is Joker.
Okay.
All right.
Add that.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 for me, and it almost was number 1, was Black Panther. You all know I love Black Panther.
Yep. Let's add a point.
And number 1 is what I think is the most important film of the decade is Get Out.
Okay. Let's add a point to Get Out. I'm with it. Hey, listen, again, solid list. Super solid list. Brocco said he can't believe that's the first mention of Fury Road. Hey, listen, we're only 2 lists in.
Hey, we're only 2 lists in. We're only 2 lists in. So that's the.
I see Marcus got his top 10 on here.
Yeah, let me check Marcus' top 10 out.
Oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing.
All right, listen, Marcus, you make Fast 5, Deadpool,
Yo,
Kingsman, Infinity War, Endgame, Limitless,
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Vampire Hunter, dog.
It's funny that you say. I gotta say it with you.
Oh
Really?
my God.
Oh my God.
and Interstellar.
Yo.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at
Hey,
it.
the opening of Abraham Lincoln Vampire.
So let me tell you how.
Abraham Lincoln.
No, but I have not
Vampire
watched
Hunter.
it. I have not watched it.
Oh.
Here's the funny part. Going through movies the other day, I found the joint. I haven't even opened it. Like the joint is just there. Like I got it.
Well,
For
now you
whatever
got a
reason,
reason to watch
never
it.
watched
Yo.
You
it.
need to open it. You need to at least watch the opening, bro. Open it and watch the opening.
The digital copy is
Right,
probably
watch the rest of it.
expired to
Dog.
hell.
Dog, just turn on Cinemax at like 3 a.m. It will be on, bro.
Probably so.
That joint is on.
Probably so. All right, here's what we're gonna do. You know what? I'm gonna go next
All right.
so that I can try to jot my own
try
choice down.
to jot your own.
So my number 10 is Straight Outta Compton.
Ooh.
I forgot about Straight Outta Compton, bro. Wow.
Yeah, I feel bad.
I feel awful about that one. Yeah, I love that movie.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
My number 9 is Frozen.
Mm-hmm.
My number 8 is Endgame. Gotta add a point there. My number 7 is Winter Soldier.
Mm.
So I gotta add a point there. My number 6 is Black Panther.
Mm.
So we're gonna add another point there.
All right.
My number 5 is Infinity War. So I need to add a point there.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is The Greatest Showman.
Ooh.
Good one. Good job. That's good. That's a good one.
I gotta write that one down. My number 3 is Civil War.
Mm.
Give me a second if you find it. None of y'all had Civil War, huh?
It's in my honorable mentions.
Wait, hold up.
I had to add it. Well, I mean, nobody's. Coop.
Yo.
My number 2 is Logan.
Nice.
Logan's a great movie, man.
And my number 1 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I knew that.
Like we didn't see that. Like we didn't see that.
We knew
coming.
that was it.
Hey, listen, bro, but did you expect for there to be no other Spider-Man joints on my list at all?
I don't think there is.
Oh, good. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Guess
There's
not. Yeah.
no other Spider-Man joint on my list.
There were 2 other Spider-Man movies. Was it? Wait a minute, like 3 or 4 this
Yes.
decade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
Yes,
Andrew,
the first amazing,
Andrew
the
Garfield.
2011 Yeah, the first 2 Amazing Spider-Man, both of those films were out in this last decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And James Fox Jones trash.
They bringing them back.
Hey, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Hey, getting a second chance.
They bringing them back.
All right, I guess I'll go next.
Hey, Jimmy, get out of the comments, Jimmy. You are so right.
All right.
I'm ashamed I don't have
Appreciate that,
Spider-Verse
Greg.
on my list though. That's actually a flaw.
Shut
on
up,
my
Jimmy. Nobody has Batman anything on their list, Jimmy. Get out of the
There
comments.
ain't nothing
I
Batman.
watched Batman vs Superman last night. Horrible movie.
Better than Wonder Woman
I'm trying to
84.
say better than Wonder Woman.
Wait, what is it better than Wonder Woman 84?
Facts, my guy.
We had to refer to K's list.
I'm thinking
Fine.
about that. I
Adam,
don't like
Adam,
Batman vs
Adam,
Superman.
Stop. There's
I
nothing
don't
to think
either.
about. It's
All
still
right.
a better movie than Wonder
I don't
Woman.
I
either.
don't
84.
like Wonder Woman either, so I'm not going to argue.
All right,
but
that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't like Batman
I mean,
vs
listen.
Superman made me angry.
When you're trying to pick from two disgusting joints,
It is what it
Gotta
is.
take
right?
the
You
lesser of
forget.
two evils.
Ugh,
That's it,
you're
that's the
puking. You're
two
throwing
evils,
up either
yeah.
way. Ugh.
Yeah, there you go.
all right, look. Jokes and Sin.
I got it.
Who wants to go next? Jokes, you're next?
I'll go next. All right.
The last end.
Stop it.
Let me just this was the hardest thing to ever have to do. But so number 10, Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta add
I'm
a
sorry.
point.
You gotta add a point.
Yep. Number 9. Go ahead.
Number 9, Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Number 8, Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, here we
Okay.
go.
Add a
We
point.
on now.
Number 7, Logan.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's add a point.
No.
Number
Okay.
6, Black Panther.
Mm.
Add a point. It's getting ugly out here.
Getting ugly.
Number
We know
5.
this movie.
Number 5. Sin, this is for you too. I'm wondering. Number 5 is Your Name.
It's on his list. It's on his list. Let me write it down though. All right, bet.
Number 4, OG Avengers.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Number 3, Get Out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And number 1, to round them all out, Endgame.
Wow. Wow.
I like that. That's interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
That's movie. to
Let's
think
get
of.
ready.
Stop it, Jay Robert.
Folks was a kid when the decade started. It's actually true. It's actually true.
Oh, Lord.
No,
Those
the
were-
Power Rangers movie will not be on this list, Jay Robert. No. If this is the
What about Velocipaster? You ever heard of that one?
Oh, yeah, and I can't wait to watch that one.
Hey, listen.
I'm
Before
going to get lit
Sin
one night and
starts,
watch that. Yeah.
before Sin gets
He
started,
said, Where's the Power Ranger movie? That's what
I know. Listen. Hey, Coop.
Yeah.
How many Fast and Furious joints does Low have on his list? How many Fast and Furious joints on Sin's list?
Two.
Just give me a number. 2? I'm gonna write it down.
This
Hold on.
Hobbs and Shaw
Hey,
film.
hey, Greg.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hey, Greg.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hold on, I gotta respond. Hey, Greg, look. I 100% agree with you when I explain why it may make a little more sense.
That's cool. That's cool. Hey, listen, I'm not mad at that, Slade, but that is definitely a discussion for later because we'll take up the whole time trying to do that.
Oh boy.
Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Joke.
Yep.
How many Fast and Furious movies are on Sin's list? I need a number.
You know, I'm gonna say he didn't go. I'm gonna say at least 3. At least
right,
3.
At least 3. All right, so Coop says 2.
You know what? 4,
Joke
because he
three.
probably puts
4?
Hobbs and Shaw in there, so that makes 4.
Hobbs and Shaw not on his list.
Say 2.
No, what?
No,
No. He
Say
doesn't
2.
like that. No. He hated Hobbs and Shaw. I take that back. No, he didn't like Hobbs and Shaw. That's right.
Hey, dog, listen, I'm writing
Okay,
things
then,
down
man.
here. You're making me waste ink. What are you doing?
I'm sorry, sir.
Sticking with 2 then. Sticking with 2.
I love the
Sticking
fact
with
y'all are having this field day. Get at it. I like this.
All right, so listen.
Go ahead, Don. Go ahead, Don.
All right, so look.
Dom. Oh, family.
Coop has 2. Jokes has
2.
3. Sin, you may be in.
I'm listening to all y'all lists. Y'all
Let's
about
do
to
it.
have a field day over here. Let's go.
Number 10.
All right.
Let's get it.
Number 10.
How many anime joints?
Number 10 is Frozen.
All right.
I'm actually
I had a
surprised that
point.
didn't make my list.
All right. Number 9 is Black Panther.
Okay. Okay.
Number 8 is Hunger Games.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right.
To my honorable.
Yeah.
First
Y'all
one?
for a loop with that one.
Talking about first one?
Yeah, first
This
one.
one?
First,
Okay.
First joint, yeah.
First one, yeah. Number 7, Star Wars Rogue One.
Good.
Also
Good
my
pick.
honorable.
Good one.
Rogue One was
Good
like
one.
that. Yeah. Rogue One was like that.
Number 6, Fast 5.
That's one.
Number 4, Fast 4.
Stop it, no. Hey, listen. Hey, look. Hold on.
I hate y'all asses.
All right. I had to write it down. All right.
Uh-huh.
Let's go.
All
What's
right,
next?
number 4, Captain America: Civil War.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Give me a second. Let me add a point. All right.
Number
3.
John Wick.
Oh, good
Ooh.
job. That deserves to be
Okay.
mentioned.
Also
Yes,
in my
sir.
honorable.
Yeah.
Your number 1?
No, number 2 is
I'm sorry.
your name.
Yep, number 2.
Your name, number 2.
Okay. Slap a point on that. I knew
Number
that was
one?
going to happen.
Number 1 is Endgame.
Okay.
My man.
Fast
My man.
5.
Endgame. All right. So only one joint, y'all. Both
Only
y'all
one
win.
joint made it.
We over. Hey, Coop, we overbid it, man. We didn't win the grand show.
Hey, but
days
listen,
there.
Jay Roberts was right about only one on the list, which is cool because only none should be on it. But that's cool. So
Nah, he deserved it.
I mean, it's his personal list, man. It doesn't really,
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so here's the tricky part. Now I have to start really looking at the point spread, seeing what we have here. So give me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 11 films on the list that all have an additional point, meaning something is going to have to get removed. Okay?
Right.
Here's what they are, not in order yet, but here are the ones that have an additional point, meaning anything else that I don't mention here that has already been mentioned, not on the top 10. Got it?
Dig it.
So, in the order that they were mentioned, I'm not telling you how many points yet. I'm just going to tell you what has points, what we have to decide from. Winter Soldier, Avengers, Infinity War, Black Panther, Get Out, Logan, Into the Spider-Verse, Endgame, Mad Max Fury Road, Frozen, Civil War, and Your Name. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm sorry, 12. So right now we have 12. So 2 films have to be eliminated. And I'm going to tell you right now, the number 1 film has already been chosen. Because it is the only one that's on all of our lists. That film is Black Panther.
Yeah.
So Black Panther is number 1.
Yeah.
What we have to do now is figure everything else out.
All right.
That's the only film that has that many points. So as of right now, Black Panther, we have decided is our movie of the decade.
It's the movie of the decade.
Movie of the decade. Now, here's where we are. I gotta figure some things out. So right now, with only 1 additional point each, we have Your Name, Civil War, Frozen, Mad Max, and Avengers. Based on this, 2 of these gotta go.
Say him again.
Your Name, Civil War, Frozen, Mad Max, and Avengers. Those 5 all have 1 additional point, meaning they were on at least 2 people's list. Okay? Somebody mentioned them, somebody else did. That's how they got an additional point.
All right.
So all those were on at least 2 people's list. 2 of them have to go. The remaining 3 will round out 10, 9, and 8, and we will have to decide what's 10, what's 9, what's 8. Y'all start throwing it out there.
I can already tell you now, Mad Max will have to go out of this category.
Okay.
Like, I honestly, for me, it's funny, and Tayana will probably jump on the chat, and I have no idea how I did not remember Frozen.
Hey, listen. Mari in the chat, like, get your name out of there.
Nope, your name is going to stay there.
Man, what?
Listen, I'm going to tell you what. Y'all are going to have to convince us because y'all 2 are the only ones who've seen it. So automatically
I'll watch
on the list. Like, I can't say, that's going to be on the list because I don't have anything to go by.
Because for me, Mad Max got to be on the list.
That, as a matter of fact, that's the only one of those that I haven't seen. Is your name, and I get it.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't.
I know.
Yeah,
and that's
I haven't seen your name.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people just because it's an anime, but
hey, Zayna, relax.
It's like, but like your name, even though it's an anime, just the story.
Hold on. Before you go too far, and before we lose it in the chat,
gotcha.
I need Jimmy's list.
Oh,
Jimmy's list. Wick, Get Out, 12 Years a Slave, Dunkirk, good choice.
Dunkirk was
Winter
good.
Soldier, I lost it. Can you see it, Jokes? I can't see it.
Where we at? Dunkirk, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Greatest Showman, Avengers, Logan, Mad Max. Nothing in particular order.
Hey, you know what though? With that list, Jimmy, I'm gonna let you still be my friend. Except it don't have no Spider-Man on it, but you still can be my friend.
Shut up, Marcus. No, Frozen's not gonna leave that list. But
Okay, so can't take Mad Max out. Your Name is Amazing Film. I hear you, Marcus.
Bruh, this is.
My mother and my daughter are arguing in the chat. That's wonderful.
Word.
I like it. Frozen gotta go. Frozen gotta stay. Frozen is incredible.
Yes, it is.
Somebody said if half the panel hasn't seen it, it's gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Greg. If half the panel hasn't seen it,
I haven't seen Your Name.
It's gotta go.
Hey, look.
Yeah, I can't.
Your Name won countless. It got nominated for so many awards, and it won a whole ton of them.
You right.
And it is a beautiful piece of cinema. That's why it's hard for me just to throw it to the side.
Same here.
And it reigned at the top for so long until pretty much recently it reigned at the top of the box office over there. And just the accolades that it got and received, I don't think anybody's going to reach that type of height in animation for a very long time. Yeah, and it was a brilliant film.
I mean,
brilliant.
I'm about to check that out.
While I can't take anything from it.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
I don't have a horse in the race for keeping it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything to back it up.
Yeah.
I think we about to get outvoted on this one, man.
But I've never seen Mad Max Fury Road. I don't have a diagnosis that means nothing to me because I've never seen it.
That's cool. That's totally cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Everybody else seen Mad Max?
Most of it, but enough of it.
Right now, it sounds like the argument right now, the 2 that it looks like are in position to be removed are Mad Max and Your Name.
Let's do it.
I guess we can all agree to disagree. So I think those will be the 2 that'll have to get chopped.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna have to go. It's a shame to see Mad Max go. I think Mad Max was like, for all the practical effects, for it to be a legacy film like Mad Max, for it to come back in the way it did for Tom Hardy, to play Max in the way he played for Charlize Theron to play, her name Furiosa, the way she, I hate to see it go, but if there are people on the panel that haven't even seen it, and it's hard to debate it because I haven't seen Your Name. It sounds wonderful. It sounds wonderful, but I can't.
Here's my man, and I see what you're saying. Say Robert Dean's like, did the film innovate? I don't think you can go just by that. I don't think you can go just by whether or not it innovated.
Yeah.
I do think that, look, the list we have, the 12 we have, is a solid 12. It would be difficult to remove technically anything from the list.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, having said that, again, we're talking Your Name, Civil War, Frozen, Mad Max, and Avengers.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
For me, it's bad.
So listen. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a real hard time getting me to pick Mad Max to stay on this list over Civil War.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Frozen or Avengers. So as far as I'm concerned, Mad Max is out.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I gotta agree with that.
Yeah.
Mad Max is out.
Mad Max is out.
Yeah, Civil War changed the MCU in many ways, so you can't. Yeah,
that's a whole discussion. The MCU is a whole discussion in itself.
Yeah.
Civil War. Yeah, that's right.
Matt.
Again, and we're arguing about the bottom. Once two are out, we still
got to shift them around. Yeah.
10, 9, and 8, and where they sit.
Mad Max was a fun time. Mad Max was a throwback to the 80s. It was great. It was great to see Max on film again. The effects, the practical effects, all that great. It's not Frozen. It's not Civil War. Frozen changed the world.
My biggest issue with Mad Max is that it wasn't a Mad Max film. It wasn't about Mad Max.
But they're never about Mad Max.
Should have been called Furiosa.
That is true.
It should have been her movie. There was a lot of issues about Charlize Theron and what she got paid and what should have really happened.
Well, that's real.
You know what I mean? Like there was a lot going on.
You're right. The Mad Max films are never about Max though. It's always like a vehicle to tell the story.
I mean, look. Yeah. Depending on my mood, there's not a single film of these 5 that I wouldn't be like, you know what? I'll throw that on and watch that right now.
That's real. Yeah.
Everything that's on the list, including the joints that didn't get it.
Whoa.
A lot of them are there.
Mario's like, so War can leave. Hey,
listen, we're going to take care of her in a second.
Hold the script. Those is fighting words.
Somebody's smoking that good.
Hey! All right, so look, right now.
Flamethrower guitar guy, though, yeah.
Can we definitively say Mad Max is out?
Yeah. Mad Max can go. Yeah. Sadly, it can go. Yeah.
What are we doing on Your Name? Are we putting Your Name above Civil War, Frozen, or Avengers? I want to know. Hold on.
I think
I want to hear. Here's what I want to hear from the 2 people who have seen it,
right,
and really like it, and I need you to be able to tell me why. I don't want to hear about the accolades it got or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that superhero films don't get accolades. They don't get accolades. They don't get Best Picture. They don't get that. Doesn't happen. So we're not talking about did a film win more awards specifically. I understand that it did, and I understand it's a big deal for anime, and that you got some extra pull because of your love for anime, and that it does sit in like the top movies of all time on a lot of lists. So I understand where it sits. I need you to tell me why it belongs on this list of 4 now over the other 3.
So, what are the other ones?
Why is Your Name better than Frozen? Why is it better than Avengers? Why is it better than Civil War?
The only
it's
one
definitely better than Frozen.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely better than Frozen. Frozen was 10 on my list. This was 2. I think it's definitely an overall better movie.
See, now overall, Frozen. I would probably say Frozen is better. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I completely forgot about Frozen, and then when that got mentioned,
that's something to say. If it's not on your list, that's something to say about it.
Hey, I absolutely slapped myself.
I mean, not necessarily.
But it's
not necessarily.
I could probably put Your Name over the first Avengers movie. I
can get with that.
Just for the fact, the first Avengers movie was the first time that we really got that big giant team up on big screen at one time. I feel like that was the moment of the movie.
Yeah, that's heavy.
But it's like, but other than that, it was still kind of just the interactive of everyone just doing it for the first time.
I mean, listen, there's some facts happening out here in the chat.
Hold up, I gotta see this movie.
Yeah, I gotta see this movie.
Hey, Lo, you need to hook him up, Lo.
I've been telling people like y'all, for years, like y'all need to watch. It's an amazing film.
Here's the thing. There are films that, on a tiny budget, with little to no marketing, take over the zeitgeist and become huge films and become not just cultural phenomenons, but become worldwide phenomenons. Like, and when I say world, I mean like everybody. If you mention it, people know what it is, even if they didn't see it. Your Name is not that. All of the rest of the films on here are. So even if you think it's a better film, if you start throwing in things like cultural phenomenon, how big it was, what it means to more people or whatever, walk into a room and mention Frozen, walk into a room and mention Your Name, and see who knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Frozen
has to be on the list.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I refuse to take Frozen.
I think it depends. I think with
Frozen.
I
think.
Okay.
Out of the three, the OG Avengers would be the only one that I would truly put Your Name over top of. Civil War and Frozen, I couldn't do it. As much as I love Your Name, Frozen overall, just, I mean, kind of what you said. You go in a room, you talk about Frozen. I don't care from the youngest child to the mid-teen to the oldest person on the face of the planet. When Let It Go came out, I swear there was not a point in time. Look, and here's the other thing too. I did not watch the first Frozen when it originally came. We had this discussion on the show once before.
We did, yeah.
I didn't watch the first one when it originally came out. So when it was happening, I wasn't in the mix. When I finally sat down to watch Frozen, I was just like, "Oh dear Lord, I've now trapped myself in this bubble," and the songs literally become second nature at that point. All
right, so listen. Right now, what that says to me is there are 4 people on here who say Your Name is out.
Yeah.
Yes?
Sin.
If that's what it is, and it is what it is. Majority wins. I mean,
I think Sin's a little bad.
No, he is, and that's okay.
No, I'm trying to get the posters and all that kind of stuff while listening to what's going on as we're going through it.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of the posters, don't you dare forget Black Panther.
Whoa! Hey, look, he threw a shot at you, bro. I'm the only person who gets it. The only person who gets it. All right, so listen. So what that means is, as of right now, we need to decide where Avengers, Frozen, and Civil War sit in terms of number 10, number 9, and number 8. So I want to hear what y'all think. What belongs in number 10?
I think you literally just said it in the order.
Y'all in the chat, let me know how y'all feel about it. What should be number 10? What do you feel like should be number 9? What do you feel like should be number 8? Civil War, Frozen, Avengers. Let the discussion begin. Adam, what are you feeling? What do you think?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put Civil War number 10. Civil War was great. It combined everybody, introduced characters, but Avengers really set the MCU off, so it has to be higher than Civil War. Frozen is a cultural phenomenon. We just spent significant time talking about why Frozen. As you all were talking, all I could hear in my head was "Let it go, let it go." While you all were talking, that's how my son watches Frozen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the little girls. Just this past Halloween, the little girls in my neighborhood, all of them were Frozen with Elsa. And Frozen is groundbreaking. Even if it's not my favorite movie, Frozen is groundbreaking. I would have to put Avengers, the OG Avengers, at 10. That's not a disrespect to the OG Avengers, but I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. Civil War at 10. That's not a disrespect to Civil War.
Hey, listen, I think
the OG Avengers has to go over it. Yeah.
And Heather, I think if you like the songs in a movie that much that they're stuck in your head, that counts because that's part of the movie.
Yes,
the movie itself 100%. Is a musical, so that counts. Yeah. If you talk about how people felt about the animated Mulan versus how they felt about the live action Mulan, what was missing was the music.
Right.
So you can tell the same story and not have it. It matters. It actually does matter. Marcus, I see you at Frozen, Civil War, and then Avengers. Slade, I see you with Avengers 1 at number 10. Heather, I see you at Frozen, Avengers, and Civil War. I see Avengers, Civil War, and front. Man, it's all over the place right now.
Yo, I agree with Greg. Avengers at 10. No, I mean, I'm sorry, I keep saying it wrong. No, I would put Civil War at 10.
Right.
Avengers at 9. Frozen at 8. That's how I would go with that one.
Okay. Cool. Where you at?
Oh man. All right. I think my son will be mad at me that I didn't put Frozen on the list because that was a thing.
Frozen was that was a legit thing.
Like I got a kid and I didn't put Frozen on my list. I feel wrong, honestly.
You about to get a lecture after this is over.
Right. So where you at? Where you at?
want to put Frozen at number 10.
Okay.
I'm putting Civil War at number 8. It was a moment in comic books I didn't think it would happen, but
yeah.
I mean, as far as movies was concerned, but it was a big moment though. And I gotta put Avengers at number 7. That was just something I never thought would ever happen. I'm sorry, number 8. Sorry.
Okay.
Number 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jokes and sin.
Avengers 1.
How do y'all feel?
I gotta put Avengers in number 10. Avengers would be number 10. Frozen be 9. Civil War be 8.
All right, so hold on. I need to try to track this.
Gotcha.
Adam, you want Civil War at 10.
Yes.
Coop, you want Frozen at 10?
Yes.
Jokes.
Yeah.
You want Avengers at 10?
I want Avengers at 10.
All right, say no more. Sin, what do you want at 10?
Frozen.
We are all over the place.
That's true for Frozen at 10.
Tiebreaker. It's a good thing we did.
See, I'm not judging this by what I like better, right?
No, definitely.
To me, I don't. Frozen doesn't matter to me personally. Okay.
Sure.
But I'm looking at what Frozen is as a cultural phenomenon, as a film. I have to put it over Civil War, which me as a Marvel guy, as a comic book guy, of course, I didn't think I'd see that.
Let's start with this. I want this.
You know what? How about this?
Yeah.
Nah. You know what? For me, I'm gonna change mine. The bottom one is Avengers. 10 is Avengers.
Okay.
Because I don't even have Avengers on my list. The other two are actually on my list.
Yeah, Avengers one on my list.
So Avengers is on. So Avengers is on.
Let me tell you something. Avengers is also not on my list. And out of these 3, I think Avengers is the worst of these 3. I understand what Avengers did, bringing that first run of MCU joints together.
Right.
But when you compare Avengers to Civil War, it's not even close.
Nowhere close.
No, that's true.
It's not even
that's
close.
true. That's true. I can live with Avengers being 10. If I will switch mine to Avengers at 10 for that very reason, because I don't. It wasn't
What's
even
up,
on my
Edie?
list.
I see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing like
so
Avengers.
Right now, it sounds like Avengers at 10.
Yep.
Avengers at 10.
Avengers is 10.
All right, so hold on. Avengers is 10. Civil War and Frozen. I think this is a much more difficult thing to suss out.
Yeah.
Because they are so different in terms of the kind of films that they are.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Here's what I feel. Frozen in and of itself is in fact a cultural phenomenon, and you're right, Slade. It created a universe.
It really
that
did.
did not exist.
Yeah.
Prior to. However, Civil War made something happen that was nigh impossible up to that point. See, the thing about Civil War, for me, is that Civil War is not an Avengers movie. It's a Captain America movie.
Thank you. That's what I was going to...
That still feels like a Captain America movie, even though you have such a large ensemble cast. And so the magical thing about Civil War is that it's better than Ocean's 11. When you think about movies that have an ensemble cast, an all-star ensemble cast, okay? When you talk about films that create new stars, bring brand new people to the fore, for as much as people love Chadwick Boseman before he was Black Panther, it wasn't like it was before Civil War. Call me a liar.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard to measure that against something like Frozen where you're not actually seeing a person's face, right?
Yeah.
You can walk into any room and say Elsa and or Anna. People know what you're talking about.
Right.
Walk in a room and mention anybody from Civil War. Any of them. including Hawkeye. People know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Avengers as a whole is that it made characters nobody cared about important.
Right.
To everybody.
Right.
Culturally. Throughout the globe. Not unlike Frozen did. Which is a thing that animated features like a Frozen are already known for doing. What Civil War did to me was harder. What the Russos did with Civil War was more difficult. Pull people out of their own movies. Give them their own screen time. Never feel like you gave them too much. Introduce multiple new characters. Have multiple origin stories in that film. Not that Frozen isn't somebody's origin story.
Now I'm riding with you.
But I
Also,
don't think it compares.
What's our number one film? We already decided. What's our number one movie?
Black Panther.
What introduced Black Panther?
Civil War.
I like Frozen. But if I got to pull for it,
I'm putting Civil War with Frozen.
Frozen is 9.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Booyah.
I'm on you. I'm with you on that.
That's where I'm at. That's the same place I've been at. Yep.
I'm with you. I'm with you. You sold me.
Sort of, Slade. There are people who only know those characters because of Civil War. You have to remember, Civil War, like Black Panther, was a jumping on point for many people.
Right.
For many people. When Black Panther got a movie, there were people who thought it was about the Black Panther party. Right? Like they had no idea. That movie introduced characters to people for the first time because they were not already on it. Like Avengers didn't do that same thing. It didn't bring in new people to Avengers. Yeah. It brought all the old people who had already watched Thor and Iron Man and all. It brought us back.
It was a much more difficult task. It was definitely difficult task pulling off Civil War.
Yeah, and then
because Civil War is really the first of those films that you could really look at and say, this is not a superhero film. It has superheroes in it. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't feel. Actually, that's not the first one. The first one was Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier was like, this is a
political thriller.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. That's a totally different debate.
Yeah,
totally different. Yeah,
and then on Civil War's case, it's like kind of what you were saying. You know, it was a jumping on place for a lot of people because the thing was when you saw the poster for Civil War, you see these two prominent heroes that are on the cover, Iron Man and Captain America, but they're not teamed together. These two dudes are fighting each other. So
that's an important point
between heroes.
Yeah, and you just took sorry, brother.
Oh, nah, you good, man. We all about this. We all about this right now.
Yeah.
Go for it, Adam.
No, I was gonna say that's such an excellent point because we're talking about all the characters that got introduced. You took two of the most iconic characters in film in this decade and pitted them against each other. That was something we hadn't seen on screen. You know, you take an Iron Man again. These were the anchors of the MCU. The anchors of the MCU, which is the most popular film franchise in the world right now, pitting them against each other on top of the fact that you just introduced the character that's featured in the number one film on all of our lists. You know? Mind you.
I feel like you can argue. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's a third anchor to the MCU that existed at that time, and that anchor was Thor, who's not in that movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you know he's absent, but you don't miss him. Frozen, by comparison, I saw in the comments like, Frozen is iconic to more people. I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
And I'm going to tell you why I disagree. Because for as many young children were introduced to the characters in Frozen in that moment, Frozen 2 didn't hold a candle by comparison.
It did not.
There were not as many people who continued to hold on to their love of those characters moving forward as they grew up and got older. Comic book characters are different. Yeah. If you were 4 when you saw Civil War, you still in there. You still waiting for the next thing. They got you and they held you. It's iconic to many people because it's the beginning of it for them. It's the first thing they're going to remember. They're going to stay with those characters forever. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that Elsa and Anna have that same kind of staying power based on what was created in the first film. Certainly not in the second film.
Yeah.
I don't think Frozen is as iconic, technically, as Civil War is to more people. Based on that.
Introduce Marvel's biggest character. I'm sorry.
Couldn't you say you can argue that with Avengers, though, knowing that it's what started it all? You know, the big group movie.
You could. However, again, Avengers was a thing that brought all of us to it because we were already on the MCU train. Civil War brought in new people that hadn't been on the MCU train.
Yep.
And started having them. Sure. They got on at that point.
And what's going on? I need to go back and watch all these movies leading up to find out why these two heroes, why are these two dudes that are supposed to be saving the world, why are these guys fighting each other? Let me go back. I need to watch all these and figure that out.
You're introducing the biggest character in Marvel history into the MCU. We talk about Black Panther. We talk about Iron Man.
And you bring Spider-Man in.
And then Fire Status.
Yeah.
Fire Status for all of them.
I would say, look, also from that movie, walking around right now today and saying your team Cap or Team Iron Man,
it's still a thing.
It's still a thing. Still, yeah.
If you walk up to somebody right now and say Elsa or Anna,
nothing.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
I mean, you gonna get a lot of
nothing.
Yeah,
but it's still.
Yeah. But and if you think about
the same.
Yeah.
I think if you think about the type of I guess on the background of what we know about movies and what it took to have Spider-Man in the MCU in the first place too, you know, and
right,
and for him to
you know what?
Sorry, go ahead.
Slade, I'm looking at the comments. I'm reading what Slade is saying. Slade is saying, like the Frozen section at Target is still bigger than what you would find for any superhero section. Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you go by toys, you will find more Frozen dolls, and there will be some paraphernalia, but it doesn't compare to the socks and the shoes and the shirts and the belts and the hats and the folders and the pencils and the book bags and the toys. Like action figures aren't a thing anymore the way they used to be, and young girls don't have the same options in terms of toy lines generally because of what Jay Roberts said in terms of being spoon-fed. This is what's for you.
Yeah.
So when you talk toys and like what that section looks like, you will find that Frozen section also littered with trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you will find WWE stuff littered in with the superheroes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you can quite compare it because just the toy section alone isn't necessarily apples to apples. But because of what comic books are and superheroes are, I bet you have a harder time finding a Frozen fidget spinner than you do for the characters in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Many more opportunities for that.
Yeah, you could cross universes with Marvel too. Think about Marvel being in Fortnite right now. You wouldn't see Elsa and Anna in Fortnite.
Yeah. There's also licensing issues with like Spider-Man and stuff like that too. You know, you're not going to get as many Spider-Man toys as a Sony. Nah. This is like the X-Men toys.
More Spider-Man toys than almost anything else.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about MCU Spider-Man, but I'm just saying, But
that's it. And that's it. Listen, and again, my child is in the comments, Zaina, and as a person who works at Lego,
the
superhero section at Lego is always popular.
Okay. Right.
But I bet you the Frozen section ain't even close. They can mix the Frozen section with like the Lego Friends joint that they made up.
Right.
It's not the same thing. And here's it's been an hour and we still only in the top 3. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. It's a matter of opinion on that one. I think we on the right track with this. I think
Frozen at 9.
Frozen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Civil War 8.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Civil War 8.
100.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think I have all the posters together, Gage. I just need to make sure that it's all of them before I throw them in the tier thing.
That's cool. So let me just tell you. Give me a second. I gotta cross some things off of the list.
Got you.
Okay. So
My man Mike Slade is arguing it though. I ain't mad at him. He's standing tall. Yeah.
He said he's standing tall on it.
He's standing tall on it. I ain't mad at him, brother.
Frozen.
Yeah. Frozen.
I'm mad.
I'm not mad.
I ain't mad at him
At all.
Somebody said on those Baconator Pringles though. Somebody Baconator Pringles?
Oh nah, not the Baconators. Nah.
Garbage, yo.
Scorching barbecue. Oh, J. Rob, those Baconator. I'm pretty sure I crushed that whole can, even though there was like not that great.
hey, Slade, do me a favor and throw me a link for where you just found that up in the chat, please. Throw me a link for that. I want to see it. Yeah, because all of those superheroes were in that one movie.
Yeah, they were in the one movie.
All those superheroes were in that one movie, which again, much harder to pull off. See, new IP in animation, not new. Finding Nemo, new. Toy Story, new. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go and name characters in animation that's a new IP that was brand new to people over and over and over again. You can find it.
Yo, before I was a parent.
Find me the closest analog to what Civil War was.
Yeah. Before I was a parent, I didn't care about Frozen. So there's a whole section of people who don't have kids, who aren't around kids, that don't. Frozen doesn't mean anything to them. They know about it. That's why it's a big thing. But Civil War, Marvel movies, impactful. You know what I'm saying? When you're a kid, when you have
kids.
Yeah. When you have kids, you're closer to. I can see why I feel them on Frozen, but
I mean, that's why. That's exactly.
But
Adam, that's why I was in my 10 for like I recognize what it was, but like it's not me. So I was like, I got to put on the list because of what it is.
Right.
What it done this past decade. So
And again, it was in my. Right. I was this like.
Yeah. I honestly forgot.
This close.
And I
was this close because I knew how big it was.
And I love the first Frozen movie. Like once I watched it, dog, that became a problem. And I don't have kids.
Hey, listen.
Right. Okay.
Y'all know Iceman, my favorite X-Man,
But you're the target audience, so
I seen Shorty with the ice powers and was like, "Oh, I'm all in."
No, Frozen is dope.
Listen. We need to figure out these next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 films we got to figure out. Sin, you should have obviously Avengers, Frozen, Civil War, Black Panther.
Frozen, Civil War, Avengers. Okay.
You should have Endgame.
Got it.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Got it.
Logan.
Got it.
Get Out.
Got it.
Infinity War.
Got it. Okay. We'll put them in there.
Winter Soldier.
Oh, let me go back and look. Where's the folder? Got it. Okay.
All right, so here's the deal.
We throw them all in here.
There are 2 films that got 2 extra points. Okay. So those are our next 2. 6 and 7 are Get Out and or Into the Spider-Verse.
Dang.
You about to have a fight.
Lord.
Come on. Tricky.
You about to have a fight.
Tricky. So here's where I'm at. Hey, listen. I only have daughters. I'm all in on gender roles and what it means and what you show. Like, But in my house, we were everything sing along, everything comic book, everything action movies, everything video games. Like, we all did it all. Straight up. I like that, Slade. I want the link, bro. Give me the link.
Give me the link.
I don't want I want to click the joint. I want to go to it. Matter of fact, you can just send it to me on Facebook. I don't have to be in here.
I was watching you doing it.
Okay.
All right.
Should be good to go.
I'm about to
right.
Get out into the Spider-Verse. Listen.
I'll let y'all start this off because I had to go to the bathroom so bad.
That's cool.
Be back.
Enjoy yourself.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Hey, listen, he always so fast. I never think he washes his hands. Y'all just watch.
Wash your hands.
All right. I'm not even. This is super difficult.
Yeah.
Get Out is incredible.
Yes, it is.
It speaks about so many things on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
In so many ways. Oddly enough, Into the Spider-Verse has some of the same message.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I almost don't care which one is in which position.
Okay.
I honestly feel like so these two films are so unevenly matched in terms of what they are. Genre. You know what I'm saying? Like but are also so very evenly matched in certain levels of importance and impact. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't even know where to start. So I'm all in. Whatever y'all got to say, I just want to hear it.
I got Spider-Verse 7, Get Out 6. Now remember, Get Out was number 2 on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry, no. Jesus. Number 1 on my list, right?
Yeah.
Number 1 on my list. I think Get Out is the most important film to come out for all the reasons we listed. It touches on so many things. I got in so many debates about Get Out, just about what genre of film it is. Is it a dark comedy? Is it a straight horror? What is it, right? Mm-hmm. That speaks to the brilliance of the film. Spider-Verse, because you're right. Like, I wouldn't be mad if Spider-Verse ends up number 6, reverse. Spider-Verse is a technological marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have not seen a movie that's more beautiful than Spider-Verse, right? I'm actually ashamed I didn't put it on my list. That's just legit, just tripping, right?
Yeah.
And it does have some of those. I mean, seeing Miles Morales on screen, all of those things is wonderful. But for me, the cultural impact of Get Out, just the conversation that came around Get Out, the way it made people think, the way it shook up people that weren't black, right?
Sure.
People, you know what I mean? The way it really made people just think and consider things. I don't think Spider-Verse did that, and for me, it's more important. But Spider-Verse is, a technological marvel and a wonderful, incredible story about a character, a Spider-Man character that no one knew, most people didn't know existed, right?
Can I tell you? I absolutely love your reasoning. Mm-hmm. I do want to rebut a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you why. The cultural impact that was Get Out only had that impact for adults because it's an adult film.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse allowed children who never really had the opportunity to see themselves in that role, themselves in that role.
That's
see themselves as a hero. It didn't just do it for young boys. It did it for young girls who saw Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen on screen for the first time.
Yeah.
It introduces a lot. Like, there's a whole lot in terms of, like, it introducing other Spider characters, like a young lady who's Asian, who's a brilliant inventor, who has no powers of her own still. You know what I mean? Like, so in terms of, like, what the cultural impact is and what it meant, I feel like in the conversations that we would have, we as adults would talk about Get Out, especially with the things going on in the world that were going on in the world. We as adults would talk about it and talk about its impact but not necessarily talk about, see, and consider that same impact in the exact same way that Spider-Verse may have had on a much younger audience who could not go see Get Out and would not understand Get Out and what Get Out was actually saying and trying to teach people.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's a certain level of evenly matched.
Right. Yeah.
That I find here.
I agree. I agree, but I would also say that although, Into the Spider-Verse definitely it kind of gave you the same feeling Black Panther did. It kind of did the same thing Black Panther did as far as superhero movies are concerned.
Right. That's true.
And that does put it close to number one, because Black Panther is number one. I will say that. Right. As far as Get Out, that was a different conversation. As far as movies are concerned, I had never seen anything like that, and that's where you win me, really. If I'd never seen anything like that,
like Get Out or Spider-Verse.
Get Out. I'm sorry. Get Out was something I had never seen before, and it was a social thriller to the point where it was almost like you really didn't get it unless you're really.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless you get it.
It's the most genre bending. I mean, that's why I kept bringing up that I've gotten in so many debates about, like, this is like film school shit here. Like,
no doubt.
It bends and plays in so many genres. It made me upset when people just relegated it to, it's a horror film. It does so much, and it hits you in so many ways that just it just evokes so much emotion. Sure. I feel you on Spider-Verse though. Like, I think I'm like you with this one. Like, I don't really care if Get Out is 6 and Spider-Verse is 7 or vice versa. I don't really care.
Are we flipping a coin for this one?
We might have to.
Am I really just?
We could. But I do want to. I want to hear what the two of y'all have to say about it. I want to hear jokes. I want to hear what you have to say about it. Sin, I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, simple for me. I've never seen Get Out, so I can't speak on it.
Okay.
But I thought Spider-Verse was probably the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen, and visually, I thought it looked dope, like a living comic book. Like,
it's the best Spider-Man movie ever made. It is.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Like, I thought it was a great movie watching it. Like, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, if I'm gonna pick something, this is gonna be Spider-Man because I haven't seen Get Out.
And you have no intentions of actually watching Get Out anyway.
Absolutely.
Which is cool.
That's fine.
Right?
Zero.
Where are you?
I'm sitting like
Jokes, where you at?
Both of y'all both hit the nail on the head. It's like, for the Spider-Verse thing, I feel like it's more impactful just because of the fact that it's going to be seen by more, because of the fact that kids are going to really see it. I don't think on the adult side, you're probably not going to let your kids necessarily watch Get Out. Probably really won't let your kids watch Get Out, but
nah, you're not going to let kids watch Get Out.
But it's like the meanings that both of these movies presented and showed were so strong that it's like you really can't choose one above the other. Get Out came at a time where it came out and it was perfect. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to make it sound like it was a good thing that with the time that we're in and this movie came up. Yeah, right. I want to make sure that right. But it came out during that time where it really meant more for it. Spider-Verse came out, and I think it really re-energized. Now, don't get me wrong, Spider-Man has been an awesome character for years, but I think Spider-Verse bringing Miles more to the front screen. Now, granted, he's been in an animated series on TV. We've seen that, but to finally get him on a big screen, and then his impact, engaged. This is something that you've always said, from just for Spider-Man in general, was anyone could be behind that mask.
Right.
But Miles taking the mask off and showing truly who it is under that mask, and where he came from and the things that he had to go through, and how he channeled that into becoming Miles, I find that to be almost maybe like a little more impactful, just because of the fact that it can get to the younger crowd and and inspire. But it's like both movies have their absolute impacts, but I think the Spider-Verse just comes out just a little bit, like, and it's just because of the fact it can reach.
You're right, Blake.
It can reach more individuals for it. Oh, and the soundtrack is a whole.
And he had on some Jordan 1s the whole time.
The
and they
ones.
made Jordan 1s, and those Jordan 1s are
Hey.
fire.
I feel you think ahead.
Yeah.
Listen, so here's where I'm at. And I want to, I mean, so kind of chiming on what, Slade is saying, I drag people to see both of these the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Zane is
Yeah,
saying,
I agree.
I think while Get Out was incredible and was very much genre bending and spoke on so much, Spider-Verse was very impactful to a wider audience. And here's the thing. I think that's twofold. While I think Get Out was important and genre bending and impactful, and as a movie, to a certain extent, it did things Spider-Verse didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In terms of like cinematography,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because it's live people.
Storytelling.
Right. Spider-Verse, though,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get Out was very impactful in a major way to a very specific group of people,
Yeah.
mostly black people.
Mostly black folks. That's real.
And I like.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hold
Yeah.
on. And I think it affected other people, but
Yeah.
Miles Morales, I think, hits three things. I think it does hit the black community. I think it hits the Latin community because Miles Morales is both.
Mhm.
And I think it
Yeah.
hits the mixed community. For people, mixed is probably not really the best way to say it, right? But there are so many people, especially young children, who have parentage that is multicultural, right? That a lot of times we don't pay attention to. We don't consider, we go for one thing or the other and try to impact that one thing or the other. I think that aside from just being able to hit children and adults for something like Spider-Verse, I think it also hits more cultures and impacts all sexes in a way that Get Out doesn't. So if I had to say it, I would actually say that Spider-Verse is probably actually more impactful than Get Out is. I think as an old black man, a middle-aged black man, Get Out is more poignant. But I also think as a person who has loved superheroes his entire life, specifically Spider-Man, for the title of the movie to not have Miles' name in it, for it to just be Spider-Man. This guy is Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? To introduce a young hero and to be able to see yourself in that position, in those shoes. I think Spider-Verse creates more young people who will grow up to make films like Get Out.
And that's what I wanted to, what Heather said, what she said stood out, was that Spider-Verse bolsters the youth so they can handle Get Out when they're adults. Like, that's...
Okay.
I mean, I think that's a real thing.
Okay. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Get Out is always going to mean something more to me as a black man. The content I create, things that are really, and I'm sure the same for you guys.
Thank you, Heather, for that Afro Latinx. Thank you.
We're hurt. Spider-Verse, that is a great point. You know, beyond it being a technical marvel and a great story and just a cool Spider-Man story, probably the best Spider-Man story ever, as you said. Yes, it does prepare younger people for one day when they go to film school and they got to watch Get Out and they can really grasp it and really understand what's going on. I can definitely agree with that. I can rock with that.
And you know what, on top of that, to take what Kay is saying in the comments, I don't think it's a moot point that Get Out was such a big deal, but was created by a minority creator. I don't think you can take that lightly.
Hell no.
But again, I also think that something like Spider-Verse impacting younger people, again, helps to put us in a position to allow more young minority people to see themselves as creators that can be successful and make stuff that can be a hit the way Get Out is. So based on this discussion, I would put Spider-Verse ahead of Get Out.
I'm on that.
I'm not mad at it. Like I said, this is one I'm not gonna. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
So let it be done.
Yeah.
Boom.
Matter of fact, let me switch
cool.
and put this.
So that means Get Out is number 7.
Yep.
And Into the Spider-Verse.
Number 8. I mean number 6.
Number 6.
is
We in
number
the top
6.
5 though.
We are in the top 5. We in the 4 of the top 5 because the top 1
Yeah. We don't got to debate the top 1, right?
already a done deal. Though. But we are going to discuss it for sure.
All right, let's go.
Okay. Here are our 4 that have 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
They are Winter Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
Infinity War,
Marvel.
Logan, and Endgame. And it's about to get
All right.
tricky.
Oh, yeah. Listen, one of those movies on that list is I'm gonna fight to the tooth with,
I'm with that.
and that's Logan.
One of these films has to be number 5.
All right.
Logan.
Say him again. I'm sorry.
Say him again for me, bro.
I'm gonna tell you what they are again.
Yeah. Sorry.
Winter Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
Infinity War,
Mm-hmm.
Logan, and Endgame.
Okay.
Let me start with this. Is there anybody here who thinks Endgame is better than Infinity War?
No.
No.
Even though I put
Sin?
it as number 1, no.
No, it's not.
Is Infinity War on your list, Jokes?
It's at the bottom. It's number 10. It's
Okay.
when I explain. Probably
But hold on. Infinity War is your number 10. Endgame is your number 1. But you are telling me now that you don't think Endgame is better than Infinity War.
Do you want me to just go ahead? So
I negate your entire list, though.
okay, no. So let me give you. So as much as Infinity War is better than Endgame, I mean, granted, it was technically supposed to be a 2-part movie, so it technically was almost like the same
I like that, Jimmy.
thing in itself. But Endgame, in a sense, did something that nothing has ever done before, and it's taking the culmination of 21 movies and summed it up in this one movie. Now, granted, we've had other movie franchises out there that have had multiple movies, 9, 10 movies, yes, but none of them, I don't think, even if you take even if you take like Fast and the Furious, which we haven't gotten the last one just yet, but I don't think there's been a franchise that's like tied a bow pretty nicely on like a capstone for all of these put together. So
Sure.
that's more or less why I put Endgame as number 1 because of that. Overall, between the two, yes, I know that's kind of backwards on my list the way that it is. It's completely backwards, but I thoroughly enjoyed Infinity War more than I did with Endgame. But just for what Endgame did in the end, for all of these other Iron Man, your Thors, your Captain Americas, all these other movies, it tied it up and it sold that story off real nice. And now we're still continuing the story, but it's like a whole nother set. Like, I'm sure there'll be references to the Infinity Saga and everything that you'll have in there for it, but that's over. Endgame tied those ends up. Spider-Man Homecoming came out, or Far From Home came out, and then that pretty much sealed the rest of that bow on that era for the MCU. And the MCU is just an anomaly to itself. There's nothing that comes close to what the MCU has done. And
I mean, you can tell by what the list looks like.
Yeah, in cinematic history, just period. And Endgame was just the awesome bow tie. I know a lot of people didn't necessarily like how Endgame was put together necessarily and what they did for it. Me personally, I thought it was really good. I still don't think it was better than Infinity War.
Okay. Take everything you said with a grain of salt because you're just trying to explain why your list is backwards. Nobody here thinks that Endgame is better than Infinity War. That's correct?
Correct.
Correct.
All right. So before we go any further,
they're the same to me, in a weird way.
I mean, that's cool. There are some things there. We'll have the discussion. But for the most part, for the most part, Infinity War over Endgame. That's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
For the most part. They're both on your list, Sin?
No, Endgame is. Infinity War isn't.
Infinity War is not on your list. Okay, so that's tricky.
No.
Feel free to defend.
Yeah, I mean, for some of the same things that Joe just said, like, it had the task of taking over 10 years of films and putting a ending on it that was going to satisfy everybody, which is difficult to do nowadays for the most part.
No doubt.
And try to tie up as many loose ends as possible. It did a phenomenal job of doing that, and this is the very first time in cinematic history that movie theaters have stayed open for 72 hours straight on opening weekend for a film. And
Right.
I think that's just a testament to how big and important of a film like it was for them to pull it off, and I believe they pulled it off great for giving us such an amazing ending to what we've been building up after all these years. I just think it's something to be said for that alone.
I was going to respond to Slade on there too. I don't know if you were going to go.
Go for it.
Because Slade was like, so Endgame isn't a standalone movie. You're saying. Honest truth is, I don't think you would want to go and watch Endgame at least before you go and start like a Civil War to kind of get a little established within the MCU. Because things clearly happen within Endgame that if you never watched, like say Avengers 1, for example, and when they did time traveling and go back and certain things happen, you're not really going to get the gist of what's going on right there. Kind of like if you watch Coop, I'll take one of your favorite movie franchises, Back to the Future. Like if for whatever reason you decide to go and watch Back to the Future 2 and you see Marty seeing himself, like it wouldn't necessarily...
To sum it up, I think what you're saying in and of itself is right. I think most people think Back to the Future 2 is better than Back to the Future 1, and that's correct. 2 is better than 1.
Yeah.
But 2 doesn't mean anything without 1. Am I?
I
can understand.
That's spot on.
Yeah.
I can understand the Endgame argument because it was like you knew that it was about to end. You knew that this was over.
Yeah.
You know, like when the Endgame started.
It's almost like a cheat.
I mean, here's the thing.
It was like it was the beginning of the end.
All right, so here's the deal. Endgame was a big deal because of what its job was. It can't do its job without Infinity War. And I'm going to tell you something. The only reason why movie theaters stay open for 72 hours straight for Endgame is specifically because of the impact that Infinity War.
Yeah.
Infinity War, I've never, ever seen a film leave people so dumbfounded. People just dumb-faced. Just sitting like, wait, that can't be the end.
Yeah, that was it.
All my favorite people, like Black Panther just got here. He can't be gone.
No after credit scene either. No.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, you get it, but
it's probably for me the best Avengers movie, and secondly, it's the bravest Marvel movie there is because of what you just said. We don't care about Endgame. The whole point of Endgame is to bring back the people that got snapped away in Infinity War, right? It's almost like all the other stuff that happened in the other Marvel movies. We understand the Infinity Gauntlet, all that. We get it while we were there. But for people, trust me, I was in the theater with people that were only there to see Black Panther.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There were 2 older women sitting next to me. They had no idea who any of these other people were. But when they heard that da-da-da, they cheered, right? But that impact at the end of it was the same. And they wanted to go see, my aunt wanted to go see Endgame because of what happened in Infinity War. So you could take those 2 movies and almost isolate them for the general fan away from all the other Marvel movies. In one movie, a bunch of people died. In another movie, you're trying to bring them back. For the most basic film fan, that's all they know about the MCU. For the rest of us, we understand all the other stuff. So for me, Infinity War, Endgame means nothing without Infinity War. Like you said, it was meant to be a 2-part thing. I get that they're, the same film basically, but I have to put Infinity War over Endgame for that very reason, because of the risk it took and the impact it had on the most general of film fan that was only there to see Chadwick Boseman or whoever.
I love the way Endgame fixed everything else. Like, I'm happy with the way Endgame brought it all to, and like I don't know the kind of goosebumps that I get when that on your left comes in.
Yeah.
When Cap is by himself standing there getting ready to go to war, and he's definitely getting ready to die.
It's like Luke Skywalker pulling up in the X-Wing.
But I tell you, kind of what you would just say. Hey. But I will tell you this, talking about what Adam was talking about, how like the people that like saw Black Panther and they came and went to see it. But I was in the theater, so when Mjolnir started lifting up off the ground, you know,
yeah, that's real.
I was losing it, and you know, the couple that was sitting on my, I don't remember, right, left, whatever side, looking at me like crazy, like, why is he getting all?
Why is he so excited?
Excited about this dude lifting the hammer up, and it's just like,
right.
They asked me afterwards
because the crowd erupted,
and they asked me afterwards because I was like, the idea behind the hammer was that you had to be worthy, and the only other person other than Thor, up to that point that lifted the hammer was Vision. So as much as we all knew in the comics, Cap lifted the hammer, like that part had been missing from the movies, even though he tilted it a little bit, but that moment, and then when I tell them, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to go back and watch all these other movies now to like."
Yeah.
What's up, Nick? Hey, look, I don't think you're making an incorrect point, Slade. Endgame was the sequel to Infinity War, which was a culmination of the other films in the MCU. However, Infinity War didn't tie up those loose ends the way Endgame did. And Endgame did more to sow the seeds of what's to come. I think right now, the impact of what Endgame is, we haven't seen yet. We should have. Because there's stuff that should come out already that we haven't seen yet.
But that's an argument for the pure Marvel fan, which there are a lot of them.
Exactly.
Infinity War, I think, meant more to people who they wouldn't have gone to see Endgame without those people, like you said, that just wanted, oh, I like Black Panther, oh, I like Thor Ragnarok. That was kind of funny. Let me go check out this movie. Or a lot of people talk about this movie. Let me go check out this film. And then the way that they were shook at the end of it is what brought them to Endgame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, as the people we are, as the watchers we are, in the zeitgeist the way we are,
right?
We knew that Endgame was coming and that it was going to fix whatever happened.
Yeah, and satisfy us on your left.
For many of the people who were watching Infinity War, they had no idea. They had no idea.
Right.
They were not.
To them, Black Panther died.
The idea that they were going to lose.
Yeah.
Like the movie's not over though. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, they about to just kind of regroup and get it popping.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And Infinity War just, it was way more like the stakes are high.
Yeah.
In Infinity War, the stakes were high.
Yeah.
Very.
But you're also still coming off of Civil War. Like you're still trying, like Cap and Iron Man don't bang with each other.
No,
like,
talk.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like
They never even see each other meet up the entire film.
right. There's a lot of things that are happening there in terms of it. Infinity War bringing all of the characters, everybody, the Guardians who never met any of the Avengers, like bringing all of them. And they still don't even all see each other until
it's 4 or 5 different Avengers and adventures in one movie.
No,
exactly.
You're tying up all these movies.
Yeah,
you have all of.
They are, for all intents and purposes, though, one film.
True.
Yeah.
True.
We have to treat separately because they made us buy 2 tickets.
Yeah.
Good job, y'all.
So, and you right. Thor landing in Wakanda was.
Oh my God!
That finally going to say Avengers Assemble was a moment.
Yeah,
the Avengers. But let me tell you, when Thor landed and that Avengers theme music hit, when he that was better than when they first got together and they hit the Avengers theme.
Bro,
no,
your man Thanos threw a moon at people.
He did.
Yeah, he did. On facts.
Well, I mean, listen, there were a few things that really just give you the goosies.
Yeah.
The way just seeing all those portals open.
No, that's real.
Everybody starting to step back through, bro. And then it just starts to get popping, bro. Like it gets popping.
So you just gotta ask yourself, right? So you gotta ask yourself, what's more important than in this case? Is it more important that Endgame satisfied the people that were invested in the MCU all pretty much from day one, which it did, and there's a lot of people, or is it more important that Infinity War was probably a better film on the surface, just without all the extra Easter eggs, not Easter eggs, but just all the extra bells and whistles for Marvel fans? What's more important?
I think Infinity War. I think Infinity War wins just by being the gutsier.
That's what I'm saying.
And look,
leaving people dumbfounded like that at the end of that movie when those credits roll, like again,
the bravest comic book movie ever.
For as many people who know, you don't get up at the end of a Marvel. Like we always have to have that conversation.
You gotta stay.
It's like, why do people get up and leave? Like they don't know there's gonna be a mid-credit and credit scene.
Yep.
Nobody moved in Infinity War.
Yep.
Nobody believed it was over. Like they just couldn't believe it. Like I never seen people shocked the way they were shocked about it. And then the speculation that it created around, like, all right, well, what's gonna happen? How are we gonna do it? Like we don't know at that point. There's gonna be a 5-year time jump, and all these people are missing it. Like you really don't even see the full effects of what happens technically until
Spider-Man. Yeah.
And of course,
I think Infinity War
definitely does it. And
Infinity War is
And Infinity War hit us with the tease that we knew that was kind of coming, but when Iron Man was fighting, or Tony Stark was fighting Thanos, and that man Thanos stabbed Tony, and we all thought that this was the end for Tony Stark. Like we all said, oh, one of them is going to be between Cap and Tony. Now it didn't happen, but I will never forget. Like people that they came to see it because they knew of like Iron Man, and this dude almost bit the big one. Yeah. That one moment in the theater, other than the end when it ends, was probably the moment in that theater to imagine, like, let's go ahead and tease if Tony Stark were to die.
Hey, so let me throw something out here.
No, there was such a build up for who Thanos was since Avengers, but you really didn't see what he could really do until Infinity War.
They showed you that.
Body the Hulk. Body the Hulk. My man didn't want to come back out.
I think a lot of people really even missed that wasn't even really about Thanos. That was about how big of an impact the Infinity Stones make.
Yeah.
Thanos doesn't do that to the Hulk without the stones he has. Like let's just keep that a buck. However, people were so mad at the Hulk not showing up. They got us, bro.
Oh, they got us good.
Oh yeah, trailer, dog. They got us. They pulled the biggest trailer in film history.
Throw a big ass running with everybody in Wakanda. No, sir.
Hulkbuster was.
Hulk. You mean Hulk running with everybody?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they did that to us. They did that to, like, you can say what you want about Thanos, because at the end of the day, man, I don't think Thanos was really as big, but it felt right. Like we was all mad at Thor for not going for the head.
Yep.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
No, everybody was mad at Star-Lord.
Yeah, it's exactly, man. The emotions, the payoff of Endgame is unmatched, but the emotions you felt, the roller coaster you felt through Infinity War is just crazy, and it satisfied a large audience of people.
So here's what I want to know.
Engage what you said. You said even the beginning of that movie could be the end of that movie too.
Yeah.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it kicks off like
is either one of those films better than Logan?
No. It's between Logan and Winter Soldier.
So right now,
we know what it is. It's between Logan and Winter Soldier. Sorry.
Is there anybody here who feels like Infinity War or Endgame are better than Winter Soldier?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't.
No.
You okay? You okay, Joe?
You know, that's a hard one to think about, but I'm
You
sorry.
already outvoted though.
Yeah, but no, I'm on the Winter Soldier boat for it because like Winter Soldier was just as a movie, it was just so clean. It's like
we gonna get to that.
Oh,
we about to talk about two of the best comic book movies ever.
Here's where we at. Endgame number 5.
Yes.
Yes.
Infinity War number 4.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Endgame at 5.
That's Infinity War. To the left, to the left, to the left. Endgame's to the left. There you go. There you go.
All right. It's so small I can't tell. All right.
Winter Soldier and Logan, y'all.
Let's do this. Let's do
fight.
this. Let's do this.
Oh,
Listen. Shout outs to both of them for taking the comic book genre and changing them and turning them. These are two films that anybody that knows me, I said, you could watch Winter Soldier or Logan, and they could be called Spy-Man X and dude walking around with a little girl. And these would be these movies would have won Academy Awards had they not been called Captain America and Logan. Okay, these movies these are two of my favorite movies, hands down, of the decade, without a doubt. I want to have a hard time choosing between the two. I'm an X-Men guy, so I want to go with Logan, okay? Because I'm an X-Men dude. But man,
I feel you.
Man.
All right, look. Let me just say that Winter Soldier flipped the superhero genre on its head.
It definitely did.
Mm-hmm.
That is the joint that I point to when I'm like, you want to see what the difference is between why MCU films are good and DCU films are not.
Yep.
Winter Soldier is the formula.
Yeah, I agree.
It is we wrote a story that is a political thriller that happens to have superhuman beings in it.
Yep. It's Jason Bourne with superheroes.
It is. Who is almost a superhero.
Pretty much, he is a superhero. Right. James Bond with superheroes.
Yeah, like you don't get Civil War without Winter Soldier.
Nope.
And therefore you don't get any of the rest of it existing in the way like, because let's keep it a buck. The MCU, as much as we like them and we saw them all or whatever, was very hit or miss. Movies did well, people liked them, but like when you go back now, it's like Iron Man 2, I don't know.
Yeah.
Thor 2, man, I don't know. Iron Man 3, I don't know.
They were getting formulaic.
They were still very much superhero movies.
Yeah. Captain
America, the first Avenger, kind of started that trend. It's a period piece. You know what I mean? That like Winter Soldier took that joint in a whole new direction. Really did.
Lightning into the building.
Lightning showing up almost 2 hours late. What I miss?
However, Logan.
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it. Talk about Logan, dog.
Bro. For as good as Winter Soldier is, and I think it stands as probably the best MCU film.
Without a doubt. Besides,
I mean, you could put up a good fight with some other joints. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. Say it. You know where you want to go.
Right, dog. Like Logan
was Logan,
bro.
Beautiful story.
Winter Soldier is still a bit more superhero-y than Logan was.
It's a political thriller / action movie, and there's action in Logan.
Logan is a drama with a mix of horror. Okay,
sure.
With a nice bit of action. It's again, it's like what I said about Get Out. It's genre bending, and the only reason I believe it didn't get the respect it should get is because it's Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. If that movie were just,
I think it only got the respect it did get because they called it Logan.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. If they'd have called that thing Wolverine 3, people wouldn't even have talked about it. It wouldn't have got that best screenplay nomination. It wouldn't have got it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have got it.
Logan
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say the first Captain America, I thought it was terrible. I didn't like it at all, to be honest. And I think they really made I think they made up for Winter Soldier, and I think that like you said, outside of Winter Soldier being a hero movie, I feel like it's one of the best spy movies I've ever seen. Not even talking about it as a superhero movie.
You might be right.
Agree with you.
You might be right. I mean, look, the first Avenger as a movie is still stuck in the era of we make superhero movies. And the villain at the end, the Red Skull, is a comic book villain. That's what that joint is, bro. Like, so I mean, for all of what it did and the impact and what it meant, and like, you know, Peggy and all, like the ties that it had to other films and all that kind of stuff, like really start to see those things woven in that movie. Ties to even old joints like the Incredible Hulk that like technically weren't part of the MCU, are part of the MCU, but whatever, like all of that really all of that weaving in of those things really takes off in that first Avenger film. Soldier, dog.
Yeah.
That point.
Yeah.
God, bro, like
I mean, it transcends comic book movies. You know, not to disrespect. Yeah, it transcends. I need like my action movies has to be so on point.
I was just getting ready to say that.
That fight between Cap and Winter Soldier in the street,
it's the best action sequence in the MCU.
If you don't get up, that's easily one of the best action like fight scene sequences in cinematic history, and you talking to a person.
And they both did it.
It was the best action sequence in the MCU.
Wasn't no stunt double. They did that themselves.
Nah, and it's pretty much better than any. I mean, honestly, you could say Winter Soldier is just as good as any espionage, spy, crime thriller ever made.
And everybody way stronger.
Yeah. I'm dead serious about that. I mean, it's for us to be able to say it's at least top 5 espionage film of all
that
time.
That elevator scene has blown up to be its own meme now.
Oh,
true.
So
the knife drop that Winter Soldier did, that Arya Stark did on the Night King.
Hey,
talk about it.
Okay, come on.
Winter Soldier probably edges Civil War out ever so slightly, and I go back and forth between the two, Chris. I go back and forth between the two.
I'm with you. Those are very, very high on my list.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier.
I had to give it to Logan.
Winter Soldier doesn't. I give it to Logan too.
Stakes are high, but Logan.
Yeah, Logan. I mean, Logan is just such a dope film. It doesn't even need a villain. The villain doesn't matter.
No.
The villain doesn't matter. It's not about the villain. It's not about the adventure they were taking. It's about him and that girl. It's about his life. You could actually drop a person into that film that had not seen an X-Men movie ever, and they'll get what's going on with Logan and be emotionally attached to Logan and X-23.
Yeah,
Laura. And Charles.
I'm gonna say Old Man Logan. Yeah, I'm gonna say Old Man Logan is one of my favorite comic books like ever. And reading that, like you would think this is never be in theater. You know, so it's like
they spun that.
They could adapt Old Man Logan, and turn it into that, man. Nah, that's Winter Soldier.
Like as much as I like Winter Soldier,
it's Logan, bro.
Logan. That one is not a better movie. It's not a better film.
Y'all made my night, bro.
Logan had me emotionally attached.
Y'all made my night. I am satisfied.
Look, when
I'm glad to be.
I can't even just watch that last scene, dog, without being
dog.
Let me tell you,
I'll gladly be the odd man out because I like Winter Soldier more than I like.
Let me tell you how.
That's cool though, but that's
Wolverine.
But let me tell you how. Like,
also can't stand Wolverine, and I think that matters.
That matters.
I think that matters.
It probably does because I did not have the same reaction that y'all did when it was all over.
You love Captain America and you can't stand Wolverine, so
that's an easy one for him.
I'm not going to negate what you say.
No, I'm not saying it's not a great movie. I'm not saying that by any stretch. It's just,
yeah,
it was a great movie. Like it didn't get like it wasn't on my top 10 list.
It's fine.
True.
But in all honesty, that was one that slipped past me.
Yeah.
Like looking through everything, like it didn't hit when I like.
That's like Spider-Verse for me.
That was slipped past me. Like I could have sat down and really probably thought about it if I would have gone through this, seen it. But I didn't. When I saw it, I didn't have the same reaction. Like I didn't get all emotional. It was all over. It was like, all right, he's dead.
But
like,
let me tell you how like in X-Men 3. So when they killed Professor X, you know, that moment was horrible for me. But then I was like, and of course it was like, dog, he got disintegrated. That was bad.
That was tough.
That was tough. But then as much
even Magneto thought it was tough,
dog. But you know, I was like, they'll never. When he came back, I was like, oh, good. They'll never do that again.
Yeah.
And then Logan happened.
Realistically, like I don't think like there's enough. There are probably really good comic book stories out there that you could do that would be as good as Logan is in terms of being a movie, but they would be the kind of comic book movies that nobody knows was a comic book.
Right, it'd be some.
They would be the kind of movie that,
image comic,
it's an indie comic, it's one of those
novel,
like whatever, right? Yeah, like
Road to Perdition or something like that.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be that kind of, but like to do it with
a mainstreamer
was like like we got to take this joint out. I mean, for all intents and purposes, because let's be real, the X-Men films not great.
Facts.
Not that great.
I love Days of Future Past though.
Not that. Listen, First Class, pretty dope. Future Past, pretty dope. The first joint age well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Logan was the X-Men franchise endgame.
Yeah, it really was.
And Ja probably put a better bow on it and completed it and ended it better than Endgame did, even though Endgame had to do it for way more films.
Right.
Yeah.
You with a lot more characters in it. But Logan was playing like
if you were a Wolverine fan,
it's so good.
Yeah, see, that's what I say. If you were a fan of those X-Men movies and a fan of Hugh Jackman, let's just keep it a buck. Hugh Jackman, who played this character for all my life almost. I mean, pretty much my adult life. Dude, okay?
Yeah.
I saw the first X-Men movie. I was in high school. Okay, so this dude been playing this character. The way he went out, the way Xavier went out, and the risk that they took. See, I like films that take risks. That's why I'm with Winter Soldier too.
Sure.
The risk that it took. It didn't give Charles Xavier, and it's almost like a one-off. It's like a what-if story. You know what I mean? It didn't give Charles Xavier a pretty ending. This man got stabbed to death, and it ended with Wolverine basically pleading to him that it wasn't me.
But he saw
okay,
I
didn't
do
that joint hurt me.
That joint hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
that scene fried me. What you talking about, Zane? And once again, why would you say what?
Or something.
Huh?
No, I must be a sociopath or nothing because I didn't feel anything like that.
You are. You're a cold.
It's not a sociopath. Let me tell you something. It's not a sociopath. Sin is a diehard hater. Let me listen. Diehard hater. No. Like for real. No, listen to me. I know Sin for decades, right? And like, I know very few people that hate as hard and/or as thoroughly. And listen, I mean that, and honestly, I mean that in the most respectful way because it never lets up.
Yeah,
and
it's one of those things where, like,
on the other end too. Like I love the same way. If I find something that I love passionately, then
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it don't matter what you say. Listen, we can argue all day about whether or not the Fast movies are good or not. They're not good, but they're fun. But he thinks they're good. But he knows they're not good. But he thinks they're fun.
I think they're great.
Yeah, we're gonna fight tooth and nail about it no matter what, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like Wolverine. Always hated Wolverine. So it doesn't matter what you put him in. It doesn't matter how good the movie is. He's not gonna feel anything because when something like that happens, I mean, whatever. That's what you get because you've been fluked the whole time anyway.
Yeah, I was fucking with you.
Then I would mess with you. Like that's where he is, and he means that joint with all his heart. So like. It ain't about being sociopathic. it's just about being very, 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 very stick to your guns ish, and like not bending or folding in any way when it really comes to it. Like even when it's time to like when he has to kind of admit like, nah, I mean the joke was good.
Yeah.
But whatever, you know what I mean? Like I think that's all that is. And I don't think it's really anything wrong with that. Like we can have those kind of conversations all day. Watch me. Hey, Sin. Watch me. How you feel about Superman?
What the fuck up?
Hold on, watch this. Hold on, wait. Hold on,
Don't bring his name up. We having a good time right now.
Hey, Sin. How you feel about Cyclops?
He garbage.
Oh my God.
He's straight up
Sin.
garbage. What?
How you feel about Leonardo?
Garbage.
He don't like leaders.
No, I don't like suckers.
Yeah, you don't like good American boys. Yeah.
I can't stand him.
Just put in position that somebody says
I
go.
can't
Like,
stand him.
Yeah.
it's a thing. And look, we know Wolverine ain't no sucker, but the thing for him, the reason why he don't like Wolverine is because almost for the same reason he don't like Superman, he's just overpowered. And so everybody's kind of on him. Like everybody like Wolverine unstoppable, whatever. So I would have thought he might have enjoyed Logan more because he seen him get stopped.
No,
Like,
he was
like,
not superpowered.
it
my
like-
man just like he got what he deserved.
smiled a little bit at the end.
He's like he got what he deserved.
And I was like, all right, good movie. All right, on to the next one. Like,
Yeah.
But you know, that's a beautiful thing, man. And this, even with this list, film is subjective.
Hey, get with him, Chris Lightning. Man,
Film is subjective, man.
All right, so listen.
Same with.
Do we agree?
Yeah, we agree. We agree.
We're good.
We're in agreement.
Yep.
Winter Soldier at 3.
Yeah.
Logan at 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Unanimous decision for number 1.
Number 1.
it's up there.
So let's talk about Black Panther then.
Talk about it.
Because Black Panther easily was our number 1 because it was on more people's list than anybody else.
Yep. So
Yeah,
And
I didn't know.
You know what?
There are probably
I would say
films.
I really did.
Do I like
Go
Doomsday?
ahead.
It's the only Superman comic I own.
It's true.
as John says, the comic says Death of
I
Superman.
don't like him, but I had to buy it.
It says Death of Superman on the comic. He owns
Hey, you
it.
think I wasn't going to purchase that? I was there knocking on the door. Hey, open up, Slim. I need that joint. I need 2 of those.
Straight up. Yeah. Hey, relax, Chris Lightning. What were you saying, Coop?
Yeah, I was saying I didn't really know what to expect from Black Panther, but I knew that movie got real for me when they had Killmonger come in and it was like, yeah, we taking this back from our ancestors.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, is that
Yeah.
a movie? And it kind of.
Oh, is that what we doing?
Apparently that's what we're doing. So I'll tell you about Black
I was
Panther.
like,
About Black Panther. What I absolutely loved about it. How we talked about how people went to see it because they thought it was the Black Panther party or whatnot ever for it. I love the way that Black Panther stood as its own movie. Is you honestly did not need to see any of the other MCU films to understand what was going on. They did make the few references to what happened in Civil War as the movie started, but it stood as its own movie. You didn't get anything MCU until the end credit scene when it came time for it. So you had those people that went and saw this movie, and then it was like, oh wait, so this is part of a grand scheme thing. So and you're saying I need to go back and watch these other 15 plus movies to kind of understand what we're getting to on this. Like Black Panther created that, and not saying for what Black Panther did as itself, the cast, music, all these other things that came into play with it, the story, like it filled so many categories that it was just insane. But you had people to go see this movie that never watched an MCU movie in their life. Some people had no idea probably who Captain America, Iron Man, none of them were, but they went to go see Black Panther. And that ended up starting a whole trend of them to get into the MCU.
So I want to say that Black Panther is not the best movie on this list. It's the number 1 movie on this list. It's not the best movie on this list. we can make arguments for almost any movie on this list as to why they might be better than almost any other movie on this list.
And some of the honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Agreed.
Correct. However, in terms of this entire decade of film, when we look at the things that we have discussed, when you talk about movies like Get Out, when you talk about things like Spider-Verse, when you talk about minorities having an opportunity to have a spotlight, when you talk about what has transpired from 2011 to 2020, it might be more important than the rest of the films on this list because its impact is so wide. It's so large. And not because it was a film like Get Out that talked about in the injustices specifically to people of color or whatever, and like pointed fingers at people and made people have to really look inward, that weren't us. Black Panther is a film that had made us look at us. Mm-hmm. In ways we didn't do before. Specifically because it, in a way, like Wakanda in and of itself is a metaphor for how we have always had a tendency as black people to pull each other down, to be less supportive, and to not give back to each other when we have, to not be supportive of one another, to not uplift, to not share what's ours. We have considered and called ourselves and talked about being crabs in a barrel for a very long time. And this movie said it without saying it, but also showed us, my opinion, how wrong we can be about the way that we handle it. So the thing about this movie that will probably stand out the most for me, above every other movie that's on this list, are the actual conversations that it started outside of the theater. The ones that weren't necessarily about the MCU or about a black superhero or the fact that it was in Africa specifically. But it is conversations like the ones we had at the town hall that we went to that was hosted by Adam. Mm-hmm. Where conversations about race and race relations and what's happening between us were being discussed. And for a person like me, it was, how can you have a discussion about race and race relations and the only people in the room are all the same color? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the conversation for me was people in the room saying, no, I think Killmonger was right. Mm-hmm. The fact that that was even a question that came up, was Killmonger right? Is he actually the villain? Much more impactful than anything the rest of these films do. Because you can look at Thanos as the villain always thinks they're the hero. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that makes a villain a good villain, even when a villain knows they're doing something disgusting. Like Loki is a good villain because he knows he's a villain. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. He just, but realistically, Thanos. My daughter and I had this conversation earlier, and some of us on this panel have talked about this before. If you look at what Thanos did, he's trying to save the universe. And he's willing to do whatever it takes to get the gauntlet and all the stones so that he can save the universe. I'm getting rid of half the people. There's not enough resources. We can't keep doing this. But the reality of it is, the actual hero might have done whatever was necessary to get the stones and the gauntlet, and there's always going to be enough resources for everybody because I control reality. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be enough space for everybody because I control reality. I control time. There's absolutely no reason to get rid of half the people in the universe, half of the life in the universe. None at all. Not when you have the Infinity Gauntlet. So what is the actual motivation? Because in the comics, the motivation for Thanos is Lady Death. Mm-hmm. All real war is usually about sex. It's usually for love or something. All real war, that's usually what it's about. Killmonger, by contrast, really brought to light, I think, a lot of the feelings that are the same as we should take the non-violent route, Dr. Martin Luther King, or the by any means necessary Malcolm X route.
Mm-hmm.
Was Killmonger right? And it's not that he was wrong in what he was saying about what was happening in Wakanda, but he was wrong about what he chose to do with the power when he got it in the same way Thanos was.
The execution of it.
Because once you had it, you could have taken that power from T'Challa and said, we are going to share our resources. We are going to help and protect our people. Not we're just going to go start a war. We're just going to go start fighting. We're just going to go pick on everybody that ever picked on us. Right? But the fact that people believed outside of the theater that, nah, he's right, that's what we should go do, sounded so much like Hitler to me that it was actually scary to me. You understand what I'm saying? Mm. We should take these weapons and we should let's just go start a fight. Those conversations, to me, between us as a community, how we treat light-skinned people versus dark-skinned people, whether that's embedded based on slavery and you must be mixed because of whatever, like all of that, that's all stuff that came out of that film.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a better piece of cinematography. It's not better written. It doesn't necessarily have better action sequences. Yes, we almost got a Disney princess out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for me, in terms of all of the films that we looked at from 2011 through 2020, the impact that film had, not just on our community,
mm-hmm.
but on communities of other cultures, period. Of being able to say out loud, this is how we actually feel.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it's actually like. There's nothing on the list that even comes close.
This movie brought our people out in droves to
the
theater like we have never.
In dashikis, bro.
Like we have never seen before.
We was
in a superhero film, mind you.
Yeah, we was in the theater with the Prince of Zamunda on the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a movement behind this film. It's nothing I could really say that's going to really, it's obvious why this film is number one. Just to get a little more detailed with it, beyond the conversation amongst black people and other cultures, like you said, it started conversations amongst black people. There were certain seeds, even amongst people from the diaspora, people from Africa, from the continent of Africa, and people that are African American. Killmonger kind of represented the African American, and that's even a conversation that African Americans have had with Africans, like, why don't you look at me like one of yours? There was a scene, there's one part that really stands out, and everybody, look, all my thoughts on Black Panther are so documented. Like they said, I had a town hall on it. I was on y'all show about it twice. Y'all were on my show. Everyone knows how I feel about Black Panther. Okay, I not to be all pluggy, but even my thoughts on Chadwick Boseman, I just expressed those on the pod just last week. Okay, there's a scene where T'Challa's in the what is it, the Great Beyond or whatever it is, where they go and he's talking to T'Chaka. And he said, come with me. And he was like, I can't go. And he says to him, why did you leave the boy? And that is such a metaphor for what people even think about the slave trade.
Sure.
Ryan Coogler was in his bag on this one.
No doubt.
In ways that Kevin Feige is one of the smartest people in the world. I don't even think Kevin Feige really understood some of the coded language that was going on, that was embedded into this film. And I think that's why it resonated with so much with black folks. And then from a more global standpoint, like you talk about, it resonated with people. Even the idea of seeing Africa, even though it's a fictional country, right? A fictional country in Africa is a technological marvel and not some fly-infested lions running around, people running around half naked.
Super third world,
third world, nothing country. And the fact that they were pretending to be that means so much. Like I said, I could go on and on and on about this film. You're right, brother. A lot of my films in my honorable mention are better than this film in terms of a film in so many ways. And that's not even my top 10, by the way. But just the impact of this thing, I can't think of anything that came out this decade that will impact the world like Black Panther did at all. And bro, like you said, man, people didn't even need to know a thing about the MCU at all. I always say Black Panther is actually Black Panther 2 because you really get to see T'Challa's motivations and everything in Civil War. You get to see how he goes from being a kind of vengeful person to a person he says, like, oh, I'm letting this go. So you're seeing a different level of T'Challa, but you don't even need that to watch Black Panther just on his own. You don't need any of it. It touches on so many things. The whole is Killmonger right thing. By the way, just really quickly, one of the things the ladies brought up in that town hall you mentioned, brother, is the impact of the women, the black women in the film, and the different dynamics of the black film. It's just so much, man. Listen, I have a Black Panther, what do you call them little big head dolls, man? Funko Pop. Right on my bed, right on my nightstand, and my wife has Nakia on hers. Okay, that's the impact of that.
I'm gonna have to send you a picture of the the 7 of them that I have downstairs on my shelf right now. I think you'll appreciate those,
brother. I already had the Funko Pop joint. When I met my wife, she came in my apartment and she said, "Whoa, you got Black Panther? I have Nakia." Okay.
Oh,
hey!
Hey, look, right
it was already done. It was done. It was done.
Put a ring on it.
Put the ring on there. So on my nightstand there's T'Challa, on hers is Nakia. That alone just tells you the impact of this film.
Yeah.
Enough said from me on that one, man. Hands down, number one.
I mean, another movie that made Expedia's searches for a fictional place.
Wakanda. Yeah. What? People was trying to go there.
Go, bro. They was trying to go. Like, I want to go there.
Yeah.
Like it was it was a documentary. Like Wakanda got revealed for real for the first time.
Where is this? I've never learned about this in school. Where is this country? I've looked at Africa all my life in school, and Wakanda's not there. Where is it?
Does the flight have layovers?
Yeah, right. I'm trying to go to Wakanda. What's up? They ain't got no COVID at Wakanda, I'll tell you that.
I think that this movie, I think there will be films that come along in the wake of what Black Panther was that will continue the conversation. You know what I mean? And will continue to push the envelope in ways that don't, like Black Panther. See, part of the thing about it, it was almost like it was it didn't see, like Get Out is a movie that seemed like it was trying to push the envelope.
Yeah.
Like it was really like trying to push the envelope and tried not to tell you it was trying to push the envelope by not really explaining to you what it was in the trailers.
Right.
Black Panther is a superhero film. It's a film about a prince who lost his father, the king, and is struggling to find his place as a new king. Right? And bring their world as a king, buck tradition, change things, do things differently. And it disguised itself as a film that had those things in them. I don't think it necessarily set out to make the impact that it did. Set out to make, but it did it.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's number one and it deserves to be. I think that's why it's the only film of all the films we had
that we ain't got to debate.
Ended up in number one because it's the only one that was on all of our lists.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Love it.
And that soundtrack is pretty crazy too.
Okay, I was just saying soundtrack just the other day.
The soundtrack is fire.
Yeah, man. Everything, man.
Hey, look, let me tell you how. And this
that soundtrack was fire.
I bought a physical copy of it.
Spider-Verse soundtrack was fire, bruh.
The what?
Yeah.
Spider-Verse soundtrack?
To be honest, like if you
I lost you.
We lost. We're losing you, Coop.
I lost.
No, Coop. No.
What?
Don't.
Hey, Greatest Showman soundtrack was fire too.
Yeah.
Just throw it out there. Listen. That didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. I'm glad it.
Yeah.
It didn't.
I think we're just.
You know what I mean?
I think we've just gotten pretty good at doing these now. That.
Yeah.
No, it helped already having a number one and kind of having.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, all right, we just
Thanks,
got to
J.
worry
Rob.
about these three. Then we just got to worry
Yeah.
about these three because of how it was all set up. So I
Yeah.
think-
We didn't have to argue about number one,
Yeah.
which was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, listen. I think that this is probably the best and easiest way to do this kind of a thing, right? Pick a top 10, amongst a group like because the reality of it is, again, I think everybody's top 10 still stands strong.
Yeah.
Like, none of y'all really have top 10s that I could argue with.
Right.
Which is, again, part of why I think something like this is so important to be able to do. So I want to thank each and every one of you for putting together your own lists. Sin,
Yes, sir.
I would like for you to read off from 10 to 1
10 to 1?
what the
Sure.
final list for Loading Snacks top 10 movies of the last decade, 2011 to 2020, is, if you would please.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's get into it. At number 10, we have The Avengers. At 9, we have Frozen. At 8, we have Captain America Civil War. At 7, we have Get Out. At 6, we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. At 5, we have Avengers Endgame. At 4, we have Avengers Infinity War. At 3, Captain America Winter Soldier. At 2, we have Logan. And at number 1, we got Black Panther.
I love it. I love this list.
Hey, bro, that's a
This
solid
list is
list.
I love
Solid.
this list.
Solid.
Yeah,
That's a solid list.
I love this.
I
list.
think that's
It's
a
good.
solid list, man. I think that's a list that's. I look. There's a lot of stuff that could be on this list that isn't on this list. Again,
Of course.
does anybody want to take a moment to shout out a couple of their honorable mentions?
Let me see what I had in my honorable mention. 1 second. Hold on. Let me pull it up. It's on my phone.
I didn't.
I had The Irishman.
Okay.
I had Soul, which I just saw and I love.
I actually had Soul.
Yeah, I love Soul. I had Grand Budapest Hotel, which I really love. See, that's why I was getting to my indie bag. I had Zero Dark 30.
Also clean.
Okay.
And what else? Selma. I had Selma, but I actually was kind of iffy on Selma. I put Selma on there just because of the impact and just the cultural thing, but there's a reason why I didn't put that in my top 10 for the reasons that Get Out and Black Panther and other movies are already in there.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Right. Anybody else got honorable mentions?
I didn't have any.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't bother because it was hurting my heart. Like, doing
It's
shit,
too
like,
many,
I didn't even
man.
try to think of honorable mentions. I was
Yeah.
trying to get this 10 down.
Just like Adam
I
said,
feel
like,
you, bro.
Soul was in my
started-
top 10 originally, and I had to bump it out. Like, as great as
Yeah.
it was right now, I was like, you can't go in here right now.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do.
Yes, I started in direction, but I only ended up getting 2. Zootopia, definitely a huge movie. And John Wick, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are cool. I mean, those are your personal. Here's what I want to do. I want to call out as honorable mentions everything that made the initial list before it got whittled down to the 10.
Mm-hmm.
Is that cool? Because these are all movies that were on our top 10s
Mm-hmm.
that didn't make the final list.
Mm-hmm.
So, The Raid,
Yeah.
The Kingsman,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Deadpool,
Mm-hmm.
Boyhood,
Yep.
13th,
Mm-hmm.
Joker,
Mm-hmm.
Straight Outta Compton,
Yeah.
The Greatest Showman,
Mm-hmm.
Your Name,
Mm-hmm. Which I need to watch that.
Hunger Games,
Yeah, I need to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely.
Rogue One,
Rogue One, boy.
Fast Five,
Mm-hmm.
John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a list out of that.
Yeah, you could.
The backup list.
Oh, and Mad Max.
Yeah, Mad
Mad
Max
Max.
Fury Road. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
There are
can make
definitely
all-
some
you
other
can make
joints.
your own-
Like, only other thing I really want to do, again, I think some of those are solid. 12 Years a Slave, Dunkirk,
Yeah.
some dope joints. I want to give a shout out to 2016. 2016 had bangers. I just want to list a few. Y'all ready?
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finding Dory, Zootopia, Doctor Strange,
Mm-hmm.
Kubo and the Two Strings,
Yeah. Wow.
La La Land,
Mm-hmm.
Captain America: Civil War,
Moon Knight.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them,
Mm-hmm.
Moana,
Oh.
Deadpool, The Jungle Book, Hidden Figures,
Mm-hmm.
Rogue One,
Mm-hmm.
Moonlight.
Yeah, which was in my honorable mention. I forgot to mention that one. Moonlight's definitely in my honorable mention.
Only seen like 5 of those.
All of them joints.
All those was great movies, man.
All of them joints is bangers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's some other solid years.
That didn't fit into the decade, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it, then I looked it up. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
They're not a part of the
Tropic
decade.
Thunder, Tropic Thunder too
Yeah.
old. It wasn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't within a decade.
Tropic Thunder, yeah.
Oh my God.
That was one of the
Joints
ones
was
I
over,
popped
baby.
my head I went to.
Good. Spy was really good. Like
Mhm.
Ex Machina was really good. There's a lot of joints that was
It's
really
so
good.
many movies. I mean, we talk about the decades worth of movies, man.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
So,
so many.
You
films.
can't do it all. I think that list is solid.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate y'all taking the time. Tropic Thunder 120.
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wait. Yeah, that was a wait.
And I went straight to that one. I was like, no, what was Tropic Thunder? I got to get this on my
Yeah.
list. Like,
Yeah.
Nope, got to scratch that one from the
How
list.
old is it?
Yeah, I had a couple others that
Iron Man is Dark Knight.
because I had a couple others that didn't quite make the list because like
The Dark Knight
originally I said Toy Story 3, but that joint was just out of that joint by a year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So listen, I want to thank all of y'all for being on the panel, for donating your top 10 to make a great top 10 list. For real, for real. I want to thank everybody who's in the chat, wherever you watch, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I see y'all all on all of them.
Everywhere.
Hey,
Thank
Marcus,
you
I
all
see you
for,
about that
for
Patriots
having
joint.
your
I got
own
it now.
conversations. Thank you for chiming in on where we were. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Sin, you have a job to do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I was going to be doing that job. But
Oh, he was
I mean,
unprepared.
absolutely.
I like that.
Because it wasn't weekly or cutscenes. It was just something we were doing different.
Hey,
So-
but guess
Hey,
what?
hold on real quick.
They try to act like
I'm going to go ahead and shout out
his
our top
job.
tier patrons, starting out with Anthony Cunningham, Tyrone Carson, Marcus Houston, and Susan Dortch.
Ooh.
I guess that's what happens when you're not on your.
Lord. But that's
Did y'all hear
cool.
me?
Now you back.
Everything up to the very end.
Oh, so do I need to run it back and
Just
do
the
it
last
again?
name. Just the last name and just say thank you. That's it.
Oh, shout out to Susan Dortch. We appreciate it very much. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Cool.
Jokes,
Yes, sir.
you got a job to do.
Job is finished.
So if you would, sir, please. Again, look, this is the part of the show at the end where we just tell y'all that we greatly appreciate you no matter where you tune in to what we do. But as you can see, we are doing what we do across multiple platforms. So it will really, 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 really help us out if you are following or watching us on one platform and you don't already follow us or aren't watching us on another. Jokes will add a link tree link that you all can click on that has links to where you can follow us across all social media. Again, so you can follow us on Twitch and on YouTube and on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're all over the place. If you would go there and follow us on those places or like and share and subscribe, that would help us out immensely. We greatly appreciate that.
Hey, appreciate that. Lightning
Mr.
just
Butler.
dropped the Extra Life donation in there. Appreciate that, good sir.
Hey, my man, I appreciate that. We was going to get to that. Adam, if you would please tell the folks where they can find you, talk to us about the Butler Did It podcast. If you would, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Yo, first and foremost, man, I always have an amazing time chatting with you guys, man. It's always a pleasure being on the show. This is just fun. Thank you, man. I appreciate this. I got the yellow script. I know my wife downstairs like, yo, what are they doing?
Having a good time.
I told
you
her
mean
we
she not
debating
tuned in right now?
Hey, look, I hope she is. I told her we was debating movies, you know what I'm saying? So, how, but I can get loud, so we'll see. We'll see if I'm in trouble when I get downstairs. No, the Butler Did It, the Butler Did It Pro, that's the Instagram, the Butler Did It Podcast Hub. Again, that's the Butler Did It Podcast Hub. That's my YouTube channel. I'm really trying to build that one up. You can also look up the Butler Did It on all podcasting platforms. So again, that's the Butler Did It Podcast Hub on YouTube. Please subscribe and all of that good stuff. The Butler Did It Podcast on all podcast platforms. And if you go to the Butler Did It Podcast Hub, check out my new documentary, which is called What Are Those? By the way, Shuri said that in Black Panther. That's just a cultural impact. Okay. What are those? What are those? Is the art of sneaker culture. It just really breaks down how cool sneaker culture is and how it began, where we are now. All of that cool stuff is going to be a film series, so look out for more of that. Ooh, and again, I just appreciate you guys. MSR_Adam, by the way, that's my my Instagram. MSR_Adam. I'm on TikTok about all this stuff, man. I'm doing it. I'm trying to make $1 out here and have some fun. So holla at me. And again, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Coop, where can people find you, man? You're not lost anymore. Where you at?
First of all, I want to say I love you guys.
I appreciate you throwing that YouTube link in there. That joint definitely say the Mindstream Radio.
Yep. Word. That's what's up. Thank you, Jay Roberts. Appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Definitely want to say I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? You guys are pretty much family. Adam, definitely good meeting you. I'm definitely going to check out the podcast. Right now, everything is still on Coop's Concessions. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram, Coop's Concessions, Twitter, Coop's Concessions. Just thinking about switching it up. Maybe just doing 2 podcasts, really. Doing a movie one and doing one about just, conversations about everything else, So, Coop's Concessions, that's where you can find me.
I dig
it. Will do, brother. Will do.
Okay, so one more thing. So tomorrow,
going down.
It is going down. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we will have cutscenes. We will do our video game show. However, it's going to be different because tomorrow is the last day of 2020. We're shutting it down. Okay? It's over. Okay? So normally for us, New Year's Eve means that we get together at somebody's home for what we affectionately call Popeyes and pajamas.
Yep.
Everybody goes to Popeyes on the way to whomever's house it is, wear the pajamas, we play games, video games, talk trash, have a few drinks, bringing the new year together in a really, really fun and good way as a family, right? As a conglomerate. This year, because of the restrictions and things, we're not doing that. We decided we were going to stream it. And then we figured if we're going to do that and we're going to play games anyway, we might as well do Extra Life again.
Yep.
So tomorrow starting at 8 p.m. And again, you can donate to Extra Life now. You don't have to wait until we're streaming. But feel free to tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We're going to jump in. We're going to start playing games. We will be playing games from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. We will pause just before midnight so we can do the countdown, bring in the new year together. But the opportunity for us to end 2020 in a good way on a good note and start 2021 in a good way on a good note by doing something that will allow us to give back and impact Children's Miracle Network hospitals, we just thought was super important. And so we don't want to let the opportunity pass us by. So, we don't listen. So as far as challenges and goofy goals to donate for specifically, we are still going based on the initial goals that were set
You a brother.
when we did the first 24-hour stream.
I hate you.
So, no more shaving for jokes because we already passed that milestone.
They got me.
We are ever so close to getting Sin to his $500 goal, which we're like $20 away.
Yeah, he's almost there. Lightning, you should have gave it to him, Lightning. I wish we just told you beforehand.
He's shaving it bare. Look at his face right now. Look at how Ted Pendergrass.
Don't get it wrong. I'm down to be a team player, but
Lightning's like, I'll do it.
I don't look forward to this at all.
Oh, you gonna look like how you did in high school, man. That's what
Hey, Adam, understand. second this came in, it's never left, dog.
Okay.
Like, so this is.
That's back to when we used to watch DX video.
Go ahead and put that cash. Like you better put that cash like to get in your house or something like that. You ain't got to put it to the bed.
I don't know what you're talking about. You definitely got to put it there.
You already know, my man Chris Lightning. Thank you so much.
Done too late.
Hold on. Let me refresh my page.
Let me go ahead and log in.
Let's see where it went, because it ain't hit my account yet. I just checked. It ain't hit.
Nah, my man.
1890, 2000.
Ooh, my man about to be the Butterball. 50. Just dropped it. It's in there.
Hey, it ain't hit it yet. So.
Hey, I feel you.
Well, it didn't. Let me check my joint. Let me check my joint.
I just saw. I don't know, because the team page is linked. The team page is linked to the page, but I don't know. Are you clicking on because each of the whole team is there, Lightning? I think you clicked on mine's again. Like literally, each person has their own link that's on there for it.
Yeah, when you go in, you can donate to the team, or you can donate to the individual. And the reason for that is because as a whole, yes, we are playing for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, but individually, we are playing for individual hospitals. Like I am playing for Children's in DC. Sim, were you playing for Children's or Hopkins? Hopkins in Baltimore, which are Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Again, just in times like this when COVID is really hitting, you know, if you can imagine being a child and being stuck in a hospital, and not your family not able to visit you, you know, not able to see you.
No,
times like
Tyrone, no, absolutely not.
Instead.
No, Tyrone, absolutely not. No, he's like Wonder Woman 84, number one.
He definitely smoking on that good.
No,
he definitely got that good right now.
Oh, nah, that's cool. Like, listen, Ty, feel free to put your own top 10 in the chat so that everybody can fry you individually.
Whoa, so there you go. Sin, I just unlocked the exclusive Silver Hero medal by raising $500. Sin, sir, you hit your goal.
What?
You hit your goal, and we lost Coop.
Ah, man, Sin.
God, we lost Coop.
You did it.
God.
You did it. You know what's going to happen?
And we lost
Shake
Coop.
your face,
Now Coop done messed up
I
everything.
ain't saving it right now. I'll do it tomorrow for the same thing. I'll do it tomorrow.
Nah, yeah, tomorrow. I'm with it. 100,000%.
I'll be tuned in.
My man, I appreciate that, Adam. Hey, listen, we're going to get up out of here. Again, I appreciate all of you. Feel free to join us tomorrow. Again, we're going to be on for quite some time, taking donations for a great cause. Let's take 2020 out in a very positive way and bring 2021 in a very positive way. Thank you so much for myself, for Coop, who's gone, for Jokes and Sin, and for Adam, the Butler Did It Podcast. We're out of here. Toodles and Loos.